Hi, guys. Let's see. I'm just sending out the invites. Okay. Okay, I'm just sending a few out, not all of them. Oh, I took the biggest nap. Hi, T-Rye. Is it T-Rye or Try? T-Rye. My eyes are red. I took like a major deep nap because I hadn't slept, you know? So I finally slept, which was great, but let's see here. There we go. Some light up in here. How are you? How are you guys? Hi, flights. Yeah, I don't like when I let my hair dry naturally because I have like a little bit of a wave in it. And then when I brush it out, it gets all fuzzy. I have to actually have a plan. Travis. It's a travesty. Travis. Holding the light. Good. Hold the door. Hold the door. Oh, my God. What a horrid day. Horrible. Bop. Let's see. My eyes are like, especially this one. I don't know if you saw in this morning video. This one was like watering a lot. It's like, yeah, very unbelievable. Hi, Russell. Really, really sad day. Hi, Carolyn. Get IGK antisocial hair bonding spray. Oh. See, because it's like fuzzy. Does it take away that? I have to actually like, you know, use straightener and then put oil in. You know what I mean? Like I just washed it right before I went live last night. Was it last night? Or was it this morning? I don't even remember. It's all blurring together. Everything's blurring together. Hi, Cash. Okay, so I've been going through the comments both here and on TikTok, and this will be a good time to address some of the ones that I've seen. First of all, I just want to say anger, disappointment, all those things, totally understandable, totally natural. But it doesn't mean you have to turn on the spirit, you know, turn on the part of you that is your intuition. I mean, God knows I did for many years. I just felt like all my spirit guides roll their eyes like, really? I know. Spread hope, solidarity, and love said, I look forward to seeing the aliens. Maybe I can give them a hug. Exactly. Hi, Lupe. So anyways, they both can exist, okay? You can be pissed and scared and tired and sick of this shit and also be connected to your spirit. Both can exist because we're both a human and a spirit. We're both. So sometimes, you know, haven't you seen all those funny videos and stuff on like people who imitate like their spirit guides talking to them and all that? I mean, that's us, you guys. That's us. We're both. Hi, Danny. We're both the spirit and the human, okay? And today we've been riding on the spirit, and today we're riding on the human. Like right now we're like, and that's why I say do not spiritually bypass your feelings today. You know what I mean? Like make sure. I'm so tired. You guys, I'm so tired. I did sleep a little bit, but the tiredness I have is deep, just like what you guys have. I just feel like it's annoying. I'm just going to say it is fucking annoying. It's like so let's just talk for the human stuff right now for a little bit. Thank you, Levi. Emotionally drained Becca, yeah. Yeah, they need to do something, and they either need to do something soon that's big, or they need to put out a statement. Because we have been soldiers. We have held on. Hi, Intuitive Tammy. Namaste, Starseed Lightworkers Unite. I like that name. Danny Burker said it's storm that we are going through, but it will be over. Yeah, it's going to be over, you guys. It's not over. Carolyn, it's not over. I cannot believe it's going to be, no, it's not going to be let go. No. See, this is like, you know, when there's a hot pan and you, hi, Sarah, and you like, you know, you put water on it or you put something on it and everything gets scattered. And it's like, psh. This is what's happening right now. What people really feel on the inside is coming out for a lot of people. And Wayne Dyer always said, you know, when you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. So when the pressure is on us, you're not going to get something else that's inside of me that isn't what I've been all along. That's what everyone should work towards. That's what I work towards. I work towards that. I'm not saying I wasn't trying to sound like I was like, so work towards what I am, you know, very rough version of that. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like if the pressure of life causes you to just be like, all right, I don't even believe in this shit anyways. Guess what? News bulletin. You didn't really believe in it in the first place. Trust me. And we can't, Cash, we cannot all be wrong. Yep. Intuition says, yeah, exactly. We're not all wrong. We're not all wrong. And people who give their power to other people are mad right now because they're like, I gave my power to you and I trusted you. And it's like, wait, stop right there. Don't give your power to anybody. Do not give your power to anybody. You have your own connection to your own higher wisdom. You have your own connection. If you're mad at that, if you're mad at God or you're mad at the universe or something like that, that's understandable. But it's not understandable to be mad at people that are just sharing their, you know, knowledge or whatever. Hi, Artsy Sofa. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'll just call you Artsy. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'll just call you Artsy. Andy, something feels so off. The darkness. I'm like total Hodor right now. Hodor. I am holding the door to the light. And I've been prepared for this. I've been spiritually prepared for this, believe me. I have been waiting for humanity to evolve since I was 3 or 4 years old. I'm 55 and impatient. Jakara, yeah. It might be the entire reason why you're here. You know, why you came to incarnate at this time. So it might be your full lifetime. But just think when you pass over and you have a life review and they look and they go, wow, you really stayed with it. And you hardly had any help or you hardly had any support. But look at you. You did it. Sarah, not over, calm. Friday looks interesting. What's going to happen Friday? No, I had to travel on Friday. Hi, Yoli, I believe. Good. I love that. I love you guys. Nona, hi. I still can't shake my intuition. Yes. You guys, this is going to sound weird, but you know, when you're like, you guys, I love you. But I do. I do. Because we've all been through like this traumatic day. I'm going to actually cry now, which maybe might help this eye. We have been through such a traumatic thing together. Like, it's so bad. Sweet Melly, I know it's strange, but I have been calm since the morning after. Me too. Me too. I've been totally calm since November 6th. There's only a couple times I got a little wobbly. LA fires, and I posted like a text like, what can we do? We have to let them know we want them to act now. Like, I felt like because I was driving through and the fires and all my, it's a long story, but the LA fires affected me. And then yesterday, was it yesterday? It seems like 4 weeks ago. Yesterday with the TikTok being turned back on, I didn't mean to say the TikTok because I was going to say the TikTok situation and how it's changed and how it doesn't feel like our TikTok anymore. And I love this app so much, but that's Pluto. I got attached to the app, you know? So I just need to unattach myself to the app and reattach myself to the people. To the people that I met here and to the person I've become because of me being on TikTok. And also, I have a whole new community on YouTube, which I really love because I've been taking my videos from here and putting them over there. I started my YouTube channel in 2006. Some of you are like, I was 2 years old then. Exactly. It's been a long time. And then I dip in and out of YouTube, but now in the last maybe couple months or so, I've been posting regularly there and I've really started to develop a community of really incredible people. So I'm grateful for that. Okay, let me just catch up. Let's see. I don't know if I have any let's see. I don't know if I have any what do you call it? Oh, you do follow me on YouTube? Good, good, good. My YouTube is my name, and the link is in my bio, but my full name, which is Lisa Murray. I'll put it on a sticker. How's that? Okay, I'm going to put not follow me, but Lisa Murray. And then that's YouTube. Yeah, and it seems like, oops, the filter making my eyes like I'm a vampire. Okay, so that is my YouTube. My name, Lisa Murray, like Bill Murray. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna be really on TikTok. I mean, I don't really care about data because I don't have anything. You know, what are they gonna steal? Like my Petco shopping list, and what? I mean, seriously, there's like nothing. I'm boring. There's nothing, and I'm probably not even gonna be alive for that long. Who knows? I mean, I might not live that long too. So let them have my stuff. Go ahead, do whatever you want with it. I don't care. I really don't. But I want to connect in a pure way with you, and I don't want to feel like we're building something, and then there's just like, someone sent me, who was it? If you're in here, let me know. Someone sent, people send me a lot of stuff, so I'm sorry. It's great. I love it, but it's like, I'm trying to keep track of everything. And yeah, thanks. Bye, Sarah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Sarah. Anyways, so yeah, so watch my videos if you want to know. The 2 videos, let's see, from, it feels like I'm like from a week ago. Oh no, that was like a couple hours ago. I also recorded the live from earlier, and I did post it on my YouTube. So if you want to see that, go ahead and go over there. Yeah, you can watch the whole live. If you missed the beginning, that's like kind of when I went off about why I am why I feel like this is perfect for me, because I've been through so much of this. Intuition telling you something, you go in that direction, and then publicly you have to be like walking it back. It's just, I've been through this, so this is nothing new for me. They just show up like cockroaches. That's right, they do. They really do. Thanks for sharing the live, Sarah. Oh, there's so many Sarahs. Sarah, and then Sarah, Purple Heart Sarah. Sorry, Saturday, not Friday. I'm tired. Planetary alignment. Oh yeah, that's so cool. I can't wait for that. I feel like TT will be suppressed a bit for some reason. Oh yeah, it is totally, Danny. Like I could feel it when it was like right when it came back on. I was kind of like excited for like 4 minutes, and then I was like, wait a minute. And then did you guys go over to YouTube, what is it, Facebook? And everybody, I guess, has by default is following DT. I know for a fact I didn't do that. So they just did that. Isn't that gross? I just feel yucky, like I want to take a shower. What kind of, oh my God, what in the world? This is so wrong that it's gonna be righted again. And it's not just us. It's so gross. You guys think about all of the people that died in wars fighting for democracy, that fought for our right to vote, that fought so that we wouldn't have this type of government, so that it really truly was, oh my God. JD also on Facebook, Letitia. Oh my God, gross, gross. Oh, it hasn't happened to you. Interesting. Yeah, I don't even really use Facebook. I just have to have it because of some of my clients, like that, I need access to the accounts there, but I went there, I was like, oh, it's probably not, and I was like, ew. And then it was actually even hard to figure out how to unfollow him. It used to be quicker. Like you could just go there and hit unfollow. I feel like I had to go through things like, oh, you just don't want to hear him on your feed. And I'm like, no, I don't want him anywhere in my life. Like, I don't want him anywhere. I don't want him anywhere near me. DT. It's like an automatic follow for everybody. It's disgusting. Yeah, it happened to me. Hi, Weissman. I'm a clown. Really? Thank you. I love clowns. That's exciting. Or are they clowns? I don't know anymore. Yeah, check it out. Just go to your Facebook and see if whatever. And then I think if I do a live like tomorrow, not if, I will do a live tomorrow. When I do a live tomorrow during the day, I might have to put subs chat only on, because I don't see people's comments. So even if you just subscribe for 1 month at the $2 level or $2.99, whatever that is, because literally people that we want to see, we can't see. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it without it, because I really would rather talk to everybody and have everybody be able to talk. But I know, isn't that gross, Love Tam? Hi, Janet. It's so, when you realize it, you're like, ew, it like came into your own life. Hi, Create Courage. I'm feeling like you might want to go to the tube for this week at least. Yeah, I will. You can't, I know, Love Tam, isn't it hard to figure out how to unfollow? Hi, Lucky Fox. Isn't it hard to figure out how to unfollow him on Facebook? It's like, it took me a minute. I don't like that. Like, I don't like feeling trapped in things. There is a way you can do it, but you have to, I don't know what. I don't even remember how I did it, but I was like frantically tapping on things until I saw it, kind of go. Let's see. I am going to strip everything away. Yeah, exactly. Leave it bare bones. That's a good idea. Oh my God. You know what's insidious about all this is that they've actually gone into places they didn't need to go into and actually taken from that. But if you look at throughout history, like with things that have happened, oh, good. Yeah, I need to block him, actually. That's what I need to do. I need to actually, that's the next step, is block him. Linda, we're talking about how on Facebook, everybody has an automatic, there's a couple people that don't have it in here, but an automatic follow of DT, the tangerine. And I saw that and I go, no. And I went there and I was like, I was following him. I guarantee you I did not follow that motherfucker. No, I did not follow him. So it was a little bit hard. Oh, you're Canadian. Oh, you're in Canada. Do you live there, or you're just visiting there? You figured it out. Okay, good. But wait, it had you following him and you're in Canada? Ew. See what I mean? They're even extending it into Canada. Ugh. I couldn't figure out how to unfollow, so I blocked instead. Wish I could do that in real life. I know. How can we block in real life, right? Thank you, Sarah. It was good seeing you. Good. Get some sleep. Good night. Thanks for popping in. I'll be on tomorrow again. Hopefully early. We'll see. I want to go to bed. I'm only going to be live for a little bit tonight because I don't want to ramp up my energy too much. I am exhausted. So but I wanted to go on in my normal nighttime time. Hopefully I can go to bed. I think I can. I'm pretty tired. And then I'll go back on tomorrow. Hi, Buddhist Bean. You already deleted IG and Facebook. Yeah. If I didn't have work stuff connected to there, I totally would have. I do fight the good fight. I do wish people came with the block button in real life and mute. But block is my new thing. Block is my new, yes, I have, Jocelyn. I did. When I got up, remember how I went to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning? I overslept through my alarm. When I got up, I don't remember what time it was. 10:30, 11, something like that. I realized everything happened because I'm in Arizona, so our time we're further back. And then I was going to just do a text message on TikTok and then go get coffee and something to eat. And something told me, go on live right now. So I did. I just got on live right away. But then after I got off the live, I tried to just catch up on everything, watch videos, comment, and then I went to Trader Joe's and got a bunch of comfort food. And then I took a nap. Janet, I went to Canada the week after the election for 2 weeks. Just couldn't be in the U.S. at that point. Oh, that sounds good. I was actually born in Geneva, Switzerland. So believe me, I'm dusting off that. You're in Phoenix and it got cold. Yeah, I'm in the Phoenix area. Yes, Sarah. I'm in the Phoenix area right now. It's definitely cold. I grew up in Arizona. I'm out here helping my mom. I'm a California resident. Live in Northern or Southern California. I've lived in Northern and Southern, but it's like my triangle of existence is Northern California, Southern California, and Scottsdale, Phoenix area. And it is cold. Anxiety, autism, channeling your son. Oh, just me. Channeling your son. What do you, let me think. You mean receiving messages from him? Q? Sorry, let me read the question. I'm sort of in my head. Just Me asked, Would having ADHD, anxiety, and autism prevent me from channeling my son? I would almost think some of those might help you. Oh, thank you. Who pinned that? Thank you. I don't know is Janine in here, or was that Cash? Moderator. Oh, Cash. Thank you so much. I would think some of that would help you. Did you see my video on if you're not receiving messages from your loved ones, the things that you can do, your loved ones that have passed over? I think I have a playlist now that I got over 10,000 subscribers. So there's like playlists on the top of my TikTok now. You can go there and look for that video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in my videos. Because that's something that I'm very, I've had a lot of experience in, unfortunately, because I've lost people, and I've had the people that I love that died. They started communicating to me, so it was very amazing. Hi, Joey. And I'm really sorry to hear about the loss of your son. Fight the good fight. I haven't slept 3 nights due to stress over TikTok and chronic illness. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't slept well either. I think it's the cold too, like the achiness, because a couple days ago I was like, my joints were killing me, and I woke up and I'm like, what is going on? It's the cold. It's the cold. And in the desert, I know people in the Midwest and the East and everything are like, you don't know cold if you're in Arizona, but it's like your blood gets thinner. I've lived in Chicago, so being in Arizona, being in the desert, your blood gets thinner. And so it's been in the 30s, and that's major for here. That's like, wow, what's going on? Hi, Ninja, Miss Ninja. Just thinking I can't find a quiet place to try. I take care of too many people. Yeah, that might be it, just me. No privacy. The key to connecting with our loved ones that have passed over is being quiet and developing a relationship with that energy, and you being consistent on this side of things just as much as, so, like every day before you go to bed, or every day at a certain time, or go sit in your car or whatever it is. And you really have to just practice being quiet, because it's not that they're not trying to communicate with us. A lot of times is we're not in a practice to get quiet. We'll be busy, and then we'll stop and go, okay, so are you going to talk to me? It's too you got to really allow for space and do that regularly, and you'll see what happens from that. Yeah, you can ask me a spirit question. Fight the good fight. Please do. And if you comment and I don't see it, feel free to repost your comment or question, because I don't know. It's hard to always see all the questions. Sasa Delara, that's pretty. I'm originally in Chicago, now Phoenix. Oh, you are correct. I can't stand either cold. Yeah, I lived in Chicago. I know what it's like to be in cold. I understand that. It's different and it's painful. But really, honestly, when you live in Arizona, your blood and body change, and 35 feels like you're dying. So not dying, but you know what I mean. Oh my gosh. You watched a good reading for Magister Tarot this evening. Oh, I'll go back and watch her. I like her. Cat. Hi, Cat Mojo. I was halfway through one of her videos about which one was it? It was good. It was really good. Oh, my dad was schmurdered when I was what just happened? Hold on. Why does it do this? Okay, there we go. When I was a child, but I have felt and seen him so strong. Oh my God, things are popping up everywhere. While in an abusive, I feel unless I escape. Remember that we're here for a reason. And so sometimes, wanting that connection with them, there's times where I think we're meant to go through something. It's like if your parents are teaching you to walk and they're going, come here, and you're like a little kid and you start to walk towards them, and then they hold your hands and they reassure you that they're there. But then they back up again and they go, come here. There's that time where you've got to find, but they're invisible. So we have to find our strength to keep moving forward in our guidance. I almost feel like the more I follow my intuition, 'cause sometimes I get stuck and I want things to come to me. I want guidance to come to me. I want my spirit family to come to me. I want the people in my life who have deceased to come to me. And I don't even realize I'm doing that. I'm just in my fear. And so when I finally realized I need to face my fear and take action, almost every time I take bold action, the universe shows up in my life through beautiful things. And a lot of times that's through the people that I love, that I've lost, that reach out to me. Something big happens that's undeniable. So I would just make sure you check what you're doing too, something like that. Okay, Jacob, we were literally effed and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Jacob, you're my buddy. Don't do that. We can't say that. There are things we can do about it. We don't even have to necessarily wait for, the blueberries to do anything. We can do stuff, which is a perfect segue into what I want to talk about. But hold on a second. And Cash said, that's what happens when you do shadow work. In May, my son would have gone 31 years. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just me. Today is his 31st birthday. Wow. So sorry. So somebody sent me a private message, and if you're in here and you want to say it's you, go ahead. I won't say who you are, but they sent me a private message and said that both their parents are clairvoyants, and they're not really they don't do it for a living or anything like that. They just are. And she said that her dad, who's I think in the hospital right now for, hi, James. I know, I saw a little bit of that. That's part of why I wanted to take a nap. But she said that her father said to her, 2 weeks. We just have to weather this shit storm for 2 weeks. Take that as you will. But that's what that person sent a message to me. And when I think about it, I think like a messy month. I think of it as like a messy month. It would be like a month. It is not going to last. This is not going to last. Do you guys really think we're going to allow this to last? We are going to fight. And for spirituality aside, just talk about people. Do you think the majority of us voted for her? She won. The majority of us don't want him. The majority of us need to take action. The majority of us have more power than they do. So, yeah. I think there's a bigger question here, a way bigger question than is it the right? I don't know what you mean, James, by that. Darla, I am ready to be petty. No complaints here. Resistance. Yeah, and this is to bring me another thing that people were commenting. A couple people were saying we have to take action, and telling me you need to tell people to take action and just forget about this silliness. Like talking about intuition or trying to figure out what's going on is the cause. And I know when we get mad, we bring up stupid shit and we start going, see, if you just would have closed the cabinet, nobody would have, it's like we start thinking of stupid stuff like that, and it's understandable. All action is not progress. I want you to burn that into your mind. All action is not progress. Doing things isn't always progress. But if you can connect your vision, your other levels of strength, organization, and then take action, chef's kiss. That's brilliant. That's where it's all about. Cat Mojo, the funny thing is all these channelings told us we'd have to go through this. Yeah, people are only hearing what they wanted to hear from a lot of these people. I don't feel mad at anybody. I didn't hear anything that a couple of them definitely said there definitely won't be an inauguration. And I even said that. That's the only thing. But all of them said we would go through a whole bunch of craziness, that it was going to be very messy. And that's exactly what I feel. It wasn't going to be clear. It was going to go back and forth. That's exactly what I feel. But yeah, I don't know. Are these people paying attention to what everybody's saying? Maybe they're listening to somebody else that I haven't seen. I don't know. We have a con artist. Psychics got cooked today. Oh, Crimson, you're so smart. You're so clever. So anyways, you guys, you know that this is all about everybody following their own intuition. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to people for reality. That's what I'm saying. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that anyways. If you're saying that you're mad at someone because they told you something and now there's a different reality. What are you doing anyways? That's to me, that's showing you like as being a person that's not very responsible, not self-responsible, self-governing. I always say in all of my lives, follow your own intuition. Develop a relationship with your own higher self. You need to do that. You need to do that. Okay, let me make this point and then I'm going to do that because I do want to talk about action and then I want to bring you up, James, 100%. So stay here. So this is what I'm trying to say. I say this all the time just in case anyone in here is new. Every person needs to follow their own guidance. You should never follow somebody that you don't feel you resonate with, and you should never give your power away to another person. That's why I'm against organized religion, because you're giving away your power to somebody else. You shouldn't do that. You should govern yourself. You should have your own thing. And then you're like, I resonate with what this person is saying, but always still keep checking in with yourself. You shouldn't do that in anything in life. And I've talked about earlier today on my live, I talked about a medical situation where I had a cyst, but I was in, late teens, and the doctor was a total jerk to me. And, I could have just been like, oh, he's a doctor. He knows. I fought for myself, even though I was crying and I was shaking and I felt uncomfortable. And it turns out I had a grapefruit-sized cyst on my ovary. And the next thing I know, I was in surgery. So you guys, my message has always been, we have to fight for ourselves. No one knows us better than we know ourselves, and we barely know ourselves. So if you're mad today at anybody, that's showing you yourself. That's showing you what you're doing wrong in your life. You need to be listening to yourself all along. Now, second to that is, I have never said we shouldn't take action. That's not even what I'm about. I don't even believe in that. I just don't think all action is progress. I think it has to be thought out. It has to make sense. And we're waiting. We're seeing what's going on with these. Okay, we're giving them, all right, this crazy ass shit just happened today. We didn't think this was going to happen. This looks weird. It looks weird. Sounds weird. Looks like a funeral. No hand on the Bible. That's not legally binding, but that's still telling, and that's weird. Like, weird, 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 weird. Still have a sense of calm. We still have a feeling that something is in the works. And there's so many people that aren't connected to their own inner spirituality. So they're just like lashing out at everybody or, just being all whatever. All we need to do is keep us together. The ones here that we do feel something and we are connected to our guidance, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. We have an undescribable sense of calm and sense of connection to something. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know what it is. It's been there for a while. We don't understand it. That's it. We're sticking together. We're comparing notes. We're going to figure it out. We are going to take action because absolutely we are our government. Just like I said, for our bodies and our lives, we shouldn't give our power away. With our government, they aren't all powerful people. They need us to have power. So even in that, we've got to figure out what to do in terms of just how do we stop this from ever happening again? We can never, ever let this happen again for our children's. We can never let that happen again. What just happened? The ignorance of people being so happy about him being in there. We need to educate people. We need to hold people accountable for things so that they don't even see this as a thing. There's so much work we have to do, action work. But that doesn't mean you shut off spirit. Matter of fact, you include spirit. That's your superpower. But you take action. So just know that. And I'm saying that now as a very strong way of making a stand. 'Cause when I see those comments, I get very mad because I'm thinking, you don't understand. It's not either or. It's not take action or listen to your spirit. It's both. It's both. Okay, now I'm going to bring James up. Sorry about that. Had to go on the monologue. It had to be said. Things have to happen. We have to fight. Oh, wait. Sorry, Phoenix. Ignore that. It popped up right at the last minute. Ignore that, Phoenix. Hi. Wait, let me make sure my volume's up. Hi, let me turn on your camera. There you go. If you want it, whatever you want to do there. Hi, James.
Let me get my camera on here. Oh, here we go. Am I here yet?
Let me move this guy over here. Oh, I can't. So it looks like it's your Lisa Murray on YouTube.
Okay.
Hi.
So I took a big long nap and just thought I would just go ahead and blow off the day. I didn't watch what happened, But when I came on, it looked like the villagers had pitchforks and torches. I thought, oh my God, they're coming. Because like, there's one, I ran into one where it just said tarot card readers. She goes, but the one with the divining rod I met, it's like, I thought, oh my
The
God, oh
metal
my God.
rods.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like going, oh my God, there's a psychic revolt. Well, here's the deal. It's just like, I think, then let's just pull the car over everybody. So there's a huge dividing line between this woman and me. Okay. She's all in. I was not doing this. I was a normal, in the closet musical theater producer in LA, pursuing a whole bunch of other shit and having a whole life to myself. And out of nowhere, I have this weird freaking experience that blows my crap off, completely pops my head up, and it becomes just so overwhelming that I just, out of the curiosity as to why my butt was shining like a neon sign with this information, I type in, like some other people did, like, hashtag 4 a.m. Just maybe someone else there had the same experience as I did. Maybe I'm not alone and crazy. And
Yeah.
I fell down to this area that there was just acres and acres of people, and it was verifiable. You go back to our TikTok pages, back to November 6th, 7th, and 8th. We all have, before we connect, we all have the same story. It's all clocked, the receipt's there. And I'm like going, does it feel like someone turned like the sound off to the movie? Or I was struggling trying to explain what I was trying to feel.
Yeah.
And what happened is that here we had people like you who have a session and a direction and a dialogue and at least an understanding of the field for people that went, by the way, I'm an in the closet, psychic. There was
Yeah.
a ton of us who came out to not only out ourselves, and some of our friends went, when did you become a psychic, James? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you changing content on yourself? All my stuff is political. It's political cartoons, memes, has been since I began the beginning of time, all documentary stuff, emotional, political things. God bless America, Sparkler, totally patriotic. Yay, the blue team, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm way up that rah-rah thing. And that was all my content was over there. I had a psychic, hanging out with 1,000 women in the middle of it going, I had that too. So I think so all of that to say is that before we start throwing the baby out with the bathwater and going, you guys are wrong, let's just move back. Why on earth did that happen to all of us?
Yeah.
And why did we coalesce and come together? So the point is, you have a right to be disappointed with what we thought we were feeling, but why the hell were there? I wasn't myself. I don't have a parlor down the street for palm reading.
Yeah.
I don't do this as
I
what
don't
I
either.
do.
I
Yeah.
don't either. I'm a filmmaker. I have a film festival. I had people die in my life, which made me start to be able to hear them and get messages from them. So that's just part of my life. That was just there. So I started going live. I had no idea what I was going to talk about in July. I started going live. I'm like, are they going to want to ask me about working at Paramount Pictures or working in the music industry? I could tell you how to get in there. I've worked with interns. I've worked with high level people. What do you want to know? And I didn't know. So every night we would talk about loss. We would talk about all this stuff. And all of a sudden the election happened, and on a dime, my content switched. And everyone was like, I got a lot of messages from people going, no. And I was like, I have to talk about this. So I understand. I'm part of that too. Like, hi, Noah. Yeah. And it was like, I put out a message on November 7th. It was a video where I said, I feel like this is wrong. I get this strong feeling something's off. And if you want to go back and look at that video, I was like, I think it was stolen. I think I have this. I woke up and I freaked out. I was shaking. When I found out, I went to bed just to stay alive because I feel like unaliving myself. I was completely distraught. Went to bed. When I woke up, and I guess it was around whatever it was, 4 a.m. I mean, I don't know if it was exactly 4 a.m. I'm in Arizona,
Right.
It was in the middle of the morning night, and I had the calmest feeling, and I knew that everything was going to be okay, and he wasn't going to be. And I still have that feeling even on the day of the fact he just got inaugurated. How is this possible?
So only thing I can think of is that the gravity in which he weighed in at in 2016 as a measurement, and the gravity that he's weighing in now at maybe is being perceived as not going to be the same thing
Right.
as right now. But again, I'm sorry that it what we I don't know what we're seeing. So I
Nobody
mean,
is responsible for another person's experience in life. I'm pushing back on that. I
okay,
don't give a
okay,
flying
I
fuck.
got
And I'm sorry for anybody watching this, but nobody should ever give somebody else that position in your life. If you are like trying to be like you told, that's ridiculous. I have said from every one of my lives, because people come into my lives and they want to me to say, well, because I would do tarot and stuff, and they would say, is am I going to get the job? I always say for people who went to my lives, I always say you can check in with yourself. It's good to get verification and sometimes get help from other people. It takes a tribe. We all need each other, and that's wonderful and it's beautiful. But nobody is responsible for your experience in this world. Every person is responsible for everything that they are. So you need to check in with your guides. You need to fight for your health. You need to fight for your consciousness of what you're doing in life, what choices you're making. You need to be figuring that out. You can't give that to other people. And the fact that so many of us had this experience, I will not let anyone take that from us. We had a collective experience.
right. I want them to understand that those that drifted in and wanted to use this as a reason to believe whatever. Anyways, but I still don't think that I'm like going, whoa, 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 don't lose that much faith. You need to understand. Don't you think it's weird just for a minute? Don't you just think it's weird
Yeah.
for a
Just
minute
think
that
about it.
I'm in LA and
Right.
there's a girl I'm going to be 70 years old in May. There's a girl who's 19 in North Carolina. Our stories absolutely line up. She tells the exact same. She has a southern. She goes, and then I like shook, and then I went to sleep at like, she's like adorable. She was like about 7:30, then I got up at 5:30, and I was like, oh my god, it's like a whole night. Everything is beautiful. I felt like a Coke commercial, and it was. I saw us matching up these exact same stories. So it's like, so everybody's got to say before running away or saying you guys got it wrong or whatever, what happened in the universe that these folks that may be upset also witnessed a coalescing and a gathering of all these psychic people in one room
Yeah.
for the very first time. So we can't discount that happened. So, and by the fact that we need to be getting the answers that we want to hear or that we thought we should get, I think we should go back and like fine tune this and say, well, then why the fuck did they put us all together?
Yep.
Like, why are we here and what else do we need to be doing? And before we condemn right or wrong, I still think the coalescing is pretty biblical. I think I just
Yeah.
I don't think that should be thrown out with the rest of it by saying you guys got this wrong. I said, yeah, but we certainly found each other with some kind of efficiency. There was just too much matching,
Yeah.
The
No,
universe
totally.
conspire. What is it? A coincidence? Is the universe conspiring to get your attention? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I just got really all riled up because I feel like if anyone's coming for you or anybody that I care about, I can fight for other people really strongly. Like I will smash you. No, anyways. So yeah, no,
You worked at Paramount.
I did. Um, I loved working there. I worked with the DreamWorks people, so it was very like the DreamWorks energy when they first came over. So it was a whole artsy vibe clashing with
Oh,
the corporate Paramount. It was
I
interesting.
look at the logo and the arch and I cry.
Yeah,
It's to me, Paramount Studios is the Vatican.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a
Of the
big,
entertainment. Yeah.
I knew Ruby Keeler, in LA. I hung out with old Hollywood and my grandmother was really involved in silent movie era.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, those institutions mean so much to me. And,
When I was in high school, my I was an actress and nobody supported me. And my dad, I remember he was an electrical engineer, and I remember I was telling him about this audition that I got, and I got a call back, and he just sat there. He never would say anything, and I finally developed the courage, and I said, "Why don't you ever say anything when I tell you this stuff? I mean, this is big." And he goes, "Well, pick a realistic career choice, and then I'll talk to you about it." So, needless to say, I went on this whole weird journey on my life. But then I'm working at Paramount Pictures, and my dad comes into town and visits. And I take him around on the golf cart. I give him the full tour. He was so excited. He got out on New York Street and was taking pictures. And I said, does this look pretty realistic to you? And he was like, what? And I go, this whole place, is it realistic? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, you told me to pick a realistic career choice. And he goes, I don't remember saying that. I'm like, thousands of hours of therapy later, I was like, really? So, anyways, yeah. So I loved working at Paramount. It was great. But yeah. So back to the big, huge elephant
Yeah.
in the room.
Yep.
Um,
Sorry.
no, it's good. We have to be real people too. But
But don't you think that that's something that is
yeah,
tangible and is transactional and it's just like, but whoa. I
yeah,
mean, it's like even in the science fiction movies, it's like, in Contact, there's parts of it that may have failed and some of them that actually came through, It's
yeah,
just like discovering these little Easter eggs, but it's like in all of that rubble, you have to look at the scientific experiment that like part of it blew up, but the other part lasted, and so forth. So as we look through this as just as a human experiment, what made all those? There's a lot of people that coalesced at the exact same moment. How were they connected? How are they communicated with? Who called us to have those reactions? What do those reactions mean in our body? Why were they similar? Why did we do the same thing? No matter if you were a guy or a girl, or if you were in Arkansas or Los Angeles, you had the same experience. Wasn't diet, wasn't food, wasn't genetics, it wasn't topography, it wasn't altitude, it wasn't a temperature. It was literally something that bound us all together at the same time. And I think we need to go back to that part of the experiment and go, what the fuck happened?
yeah,
That's really worth hanging in there on that as it, to give you a discount of like, sorry, that thing didn't get called correctly, but what do you guys think of this part? Don't go
yeah,
away. Help us get through this part of it,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like we're all psychics and we were getting like $100 every time we told people what was going to happen, and then now we're like, too bad, too sad, I got my 25K, I'm outie. Like, we're just regular people, and we're sharing our notes with this weird shit that happened to us, that we all woke up, have this weird calm. We shouldn't be calm. Why are we calm? We should be freaking out, we should be pissed, but we have this weird calm, we have this knowing. What is it? Why is it happening? Why did it happen? And so, yeah, I'm with you. We should be thinking about that and looking at that. Nobody will ever shake me from this. Nobody, because I know what I know. I know what I felt. I remember it clearly on November 6th. I know that feeling. And then I know, as I've seen people come in here, hi, Sheena, come in here on my lives or comment on my videos, or I've seen people make videos, or I've gone in other people's lives. Unbelievable amount of people like you, like everybody. We're all different. We didn't come together because, we're all at a retreat in the Alps together and we're talking about, yeah, and then, we literally found each other in some weird way and we are having all these similar experiences. It's wild. It means something.
right, right. I feel very close encounters. I've just the lead actor in that thing when he was Richard Dreyfuss, when he's like literally just everything became that big huge place in Wyoming, and it's walking through with it, which is why I'm sort of putting my case before the public. Is just like, but but this means something, but it
Yeah.
means something, and
Don't forget that.
I don't want that to go away. It's
It
just like
won't.
I have no problems. I have no problem saying, it's like, I'll take one for the team. No, I'm sorry. I'm as sorry as you are, but I don't know why, why was I meant to feel it? Why was I meant to see it that way? And I'm not some goofball that's alone. That's the other part. What are we not? What is missing from that information? What led us to that information? Is there another shoe to drop? I don't want to sit there and pretend to be running down the road, but it's just like, I thought maybe weight and balance. I kind of said, well, maybe it's just not going to be as intense as he was in 2016 because he's old, like
Yeah.
maybe and becomes older in office as the time goes on. But it just gets lazy, It's just like, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
I would argue that he's actually more dangerous now than he was before. Even though his life force energy is less, all the bad actors around him have been waiting for this and
Oh,
they've got
take
all their
take advantage
plans
of it, right?
aligned. They're ready. They're like, okay, we are going to pounce. We have all these ideas for destruction and bringing people down. And so yeah, and also his dementia. Thank you. That's a good one too. I mean, the fact that he's like not all there. I was worried about him before having all the codes and all that stuff. I mean, what in the world? Like, I'm scared too. It's kind of like, what is going to happen? But um I want to say also, I think that there's people being mixed together. Okay. There's people who wanted her to win for very good reasons, for all the good reasons, right? But then there's people in the 4 a.m. club that had something happen to them that they can't explain, which is what you were just talking about, where you just woke up with this sense of calm and something. So right now, the ones that wanted her to win are just like, oh, people misled us, or I'm so mad. Why is this happening? And you have every right to feel that way because we also feel that way because we also wanted her to win and we also feel let down. We also, everything you're feeling, we feel also. But like James is saying, it doesn't take away this other weird thing that happened that we can't explain that a lot of us still have. I haven't heard anyone say, I did feel calm, but now I don't. I haven't heard anyone say that. Have you?
No.
Everyone that said they felt calm before is coming back saying, I still feel calm. And so do I. And that's why I felt very guided. If you see my videos, I always say, sorry, but I still feel this way. You don't think I'm getting attacked? You don't think I'm getting attacked by video or comments and all? I am. I'm getting attacked. You idiot, and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, whatever. But I feel like whatever. What is life if you don't stand for who you really are and what you believe in? So I'm putting myself out there. That's my life. Whatever. I know it's crazy, but it is real. So there's that.
I can't argue with any of it. I've held the candle for stuff that was longer than anybody else would hold a candle for because I believed in stuff and I've and lifelong beliefs and things. But I don't know. There's got to be something. The reason I'm not hopeless is because this happened. That's why it's like, even though I was like, oh God, is he really, is this really happening? I can't believe it. So just after the human response to that, the point is that as I started retreating back from my own emotions, I realized, but there was this, but this thing happened. And I kind of kind of pop me back up in a good mood and go, yeah, but what the fuck was that about? Like that means something really, really, really powerful that is going to make this seem different, or it's going to have some kind of impact. This thing has some kind of impact, or it wouldn't have been brought together. I think it's got a bigger reason for being. I think that for some reason, the bigger pros with more followers many times said, don't be disappointed if you find out that this is for a bigger reason than what you thought you came online for. I was warned of that a whole bunch of times where they just said, you're going to like, this may not be political. This may be way bigger. And I was like going, well, oh, okay, but now we're here and it's just like, I don't know, you know?
I don't know either. I feel like I'm an investigator, and I think we all should be. We should all try to figure out everything that's going on because they have all the. We don't know anything. Like that's why people turn to tarot and numerology and the girl with the rods, and that's why because we're trying to find some morsels of information because there's zero. But I'll tell you what, it's time for the blueberries to start giving up some information. We either need to see action on their part or we need a public statement of some significance, or we need to take some serious actions because this is not acceptable. This is not okay. And I can still say that and still be spiritual. It's both, they exist. I still believe in a bigger picture, but I feel very strongly that if they don't do something, we have every right to take action. As a matter of fact, it would be irresponsible of us not to.
Like ask the question, what happened to 13848?
Yeah.
What happened to the 14th Amendment? What happened to all these other things? You really, 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 really volleyed this in that person's direction with the knowledge of what was coming forth, with the tools that you could have gone, what is that thing? If you went back in history and you ran into who, would you pew
Yeah.
pew him knowing what you know now?
Right.
And it's just like, my God, we're back in history. Why do we need to do this?
Yeah.
So the fact that they kind of tossed us off, yeah, I think at least they owe, I think, some kind of explanation. And then I would love to be able to have an open forum, just like going, what do all these documents mean? And what does
Mm-hmm.
all this action mean? And
Yep.
what happened here? What happened with the trial? What happened with the conviction? What happened with courts? What happened with justice? What happened? What did you guys seem to do or not do?
Yeah.
Where's your hands tied?
Yeah, I do think it's a responsible next step. We've extended a courtesy to them for the last 2 months. Since November, was that 5 months ago? I don't know. Was that 5 years ago? I don't know.
It's been
Whatever that was.
76 days after the election.
Yes. Yeah. And we've extended courtesy, we've been like, okay, this is happening. They're probably doing this. This is how, this is an Easter egg, and whatever. But honestly, if there isn't some type of, strong, clear statement one way or the other, and even if there is a statement, we still need to do something. We have a lot of work to do. But without a statement, we can't just keep sitting on our hands waiting for anything. Not that we were extending a period of like, maybe there's a trap. Maybe this is bigger fish. Maybe, and I still believe that's possible. Absolutely, 100%. But I also think, what if we are supposed to act? What if that's part of all this? What if that's, also part of the spiritual plan? We were supposed to get mad. We were supposed to get to this point and be like, wait a minute, and take back the power. I don't know.
Okay. Earlier, just a fading thought was like him being there. He's in the crosshairs. He's not a drifting. We know right where we know right where he is. He's easy
Yeah.
to find and easy to discover and easy to foil. He's a
Yeah.
sitting duck, not
Right.
us.
Right.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising, what was the point if they were going to do nothing? That has been my question all day. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still extending some type of courtesy that it's like, okay, there's still something going on. Like it just happened today. And there's like, what is it, like 1,000 lawsuits according to Midas Touch someone sent me. Who knows? But I need some real information at this point, personally. I do feel like, yeah, they did tell us to fight, CJ. That's right. I don't really know what I would do. Oh yeah, Becky wants to know if James, you would consider a YouTube page. You
Uh,
should.
I mean, just to do, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
they're
could answer
less
faster.
less restrictive. Excuse me. They're less restrictive over there.
Mean to just talk about what we were talking about, or
You
what
would be
my
you're very needed over there. Your points are very important.
okay.
Thanks for bringing that up. Who was that said that? Brenda, was that? Becky. Thank you, Becky. Hi, Megan. Yeah, we need Phoenix Rising. We need real info. Yep. Okay, so Hearn V said, yeah, I find it weird with all these updated executive orders and what looked like a Democratic P25 document. Yeah, the documents are confusing. And then they all disappeared too, right? People are saying they went back to look at even the meetings. The 4:45 meeting that was midnight all of a sudden disappeared or something. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. Does okay, the last one is, oh God, this just sounds, I'm so sorry, SkyGirl.
What?
I said, I'm so sorry. I was pre-apologizing. I said, I'm so sorry, SkyGirl. I'm going to go on a limb that you're going to go, that does not support your way, James. But here I go. What if do you maybe remember under the criminal equation that absolutely has to be completely committed and
Yeah.
done?
Like you have to
So,
leave the store with the
right.
beer bottle in
Maybe,
your pocket. Yeah.
maybe you have to put your hand on the Bible and accept and and
Oh, that's why he
and
didn't.
you become it's transacted at that moment.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is that now it's going to happen, whatever that
Yes.
was,
Yeah.
because it was until he did. But did he take the presidency? Technically, no, not until he puts his fucking hand on the Bible. So I don't. Um,
Well, the
that's
Bible isn't legally binding, which is
well,
why we
no,
have,
the ceremony of noon signing
yeah.
over, yeah, transfer power. Yeah, sorry. I think we're using that metaphorically. But the fact until he's transfers over, legally accepts the position,
Yeah.
then now the crime's been completed.
And also,
So,
there's a psychic on YouTube named Sterling, and he's been saying for a while that the election needs to be certified in order to be decertified, and that he's going to be his whatever will be decertified. I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. I have no idea.
well,
But
I'll keep it
yeah,
in the back. Yeah.
you
Well,
would think after it's certified, which was before, then that would have been the moment to do it. But then that's that moving of the goalposts that we're all sick of. They're like, well, we mean after the third full moon during the retrograde season, and then during that time when it's certified. And I'm like,
right.
all right, I had it.
And I can see auras.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You have to live it, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in Los Angeles, unfortunately, the reason I'm in the closet is because we have a lot of people here who are not psychic, and they use it as fashion and personality and brand.
Yeah.
And so if you actually are psychic, unfortunately, if you're in an area like San Francisco or Los Angeles, generally the real psychics just hide because they don't want to be affiliated with a group of people who are actually not psychic. And you can tell who they are because they have on tie-dye and they can see auras at parties. Anyway, I think that this he has to complete the crime has to be completed in order for it to be convicted.
Yeah.
So technically, and I said, I'm way out on a limb here, just way out over here all by myself, and everybody could just go, just let him break off and just die. I don't care.
No. Oh
Anyways,
my God.
but there is actually one more move on this, and that is he has to do this and sign it and go, and it's like, okay, he took it. He
What do you mean go
he
like this?
he has captured what he
The
wanted
oath?
to take. Yeah, the oath was the acceptance of the product. This is what I stole. I officially signed for it. I decided to become president, and I'm going to go forward. So
Yeah.
there is, if that is looking at at crime being committed and completed on our judicial system, then yes, then he has to like take the position. People who have rigged elections in boardrooms or for stock places, they have to wait for them to take the oath and sign themselves
Oh.
in. Yeah, and they're like,
Get him.
you can't. Yeah, get him now. He took it. We can't say you're gonna. Well, he could say, well, I wasn't gonna take it. I knew there was a. So he has to completely sign off on the acceptance of how he got to the presidency. So we have that.
No,
Anyways,
I think that that's a really good point. And that's definitely what I pick up on too. I just want to say the thing about not putting his hand on the Bible, that is not legally binding. I know
no.
you didn't say that, but I have to say this for the whole room. It is not legally binding. That's why we have separation of church and state. Not everybody believes in the Bible. That's the whole great thing about America. A lot of people don't care about the Bible, so them putting their hand on that doesn't mean anything. So there, that doesn't mean anything. But he, as a Christian, and whatever, him not putting his hand on the Bible, and I even saw one headline that said refused to put his hand on the Bible, which I think is a little, but him doing that says something. It's not nothing, not anything legally, but into the state of his mind. Why would he do that? And do we have images of him doing it the first time? Because there's something off about that. That's a weird behavior in front of a lot of people when he has all these evangelists and all these churches that voted for him and he wouldn't put his hand on the Bible. That's strange. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying. It's strange. God, it's like you have to quantify every statement. You're like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Sorry.
5th of November said, when does it become a legal transfer if not at the ceremony? Yeah, I mean, I would think that's the most, you
Right.
know,
He took
um,
it. He took it.
yeah.
He's in possession of it. He's in the White House. Okay, we're done. So
Mom of 6 fur babies says, yes, he did it the first time. I love reading the names and then their Mom of 6 fur babies. I love that name, by the way. Said yes, he put his hand on the Bible the first time. These are all going to be legally binding situations. We're going to read them in court now. It's a sin in the Bible to swear or take an oath on a Bible. Wow. And then people do it all the time. Wonderful. No, not necessary. Floofy Boof. You know how many people were there that were supportive of him in town? You think they want all those people unleashed and pissed off? They could be waiting for them to all fly back home or crawl back home or however they however they got there. Sorry, I couldn't resist. They could be waiting for them to leave and just wait for. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. We've got to watch and see what happens. Pay attention to what's happening right now. Like that's why I say I feel like inside of me I have 48 hours of observation. I want to see something significant somehow in one way or the other. Someone else is saying, Cash says it says that nowhere in the Bible. Okay. 100. I refuse to give him my happiness and peace to that clown. Yeah, exactly. Stay peaceful. Stay in the light. Stay positive. Stay connected to the best part of yourself and stay connected to your spirit team, family, God, whatever you want to call them, your higher self. Keep talking to them. Keep connecting to them. You're here for a reason. You incarnated at this time for a reason. We're here. Hi, Optimus. We're all here for a reason, man. I mean, it sucks, I know, but we're here for a reason. And it's all going to be okay. I just don't know how. And it's gross and it's scary and it's disgusting and we're tired and we're sick of extending all kinds of understandings for him and all of that. But, you know, someone said, Christine, I want to follow James, but he must be private. It doesn't allow it. Are you private, James?
No. If there's a picture, it should be a picture of me with headphones on. There's another older account.
So if you just tap on the picture and then you keep tapping on his name and you tap on the picture, there's a way to get all the way into his actual account from here so that you make sure you follow the right thing. Yes, Optimus, it's not over. I'm glad to see you coming in here with that positive energy. Good. Yeah, someone said they're more worried about Alonia. Absolutely. God, what a weirdo doing that. I just want to see Jack Smith in The Hague come in and be like, you out. Floofy doof. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not over, you guys. It's not over. And yeah, I mean, all the J6 crimes that he pardoned were the non-violent ones, weren't they? That's what I was hearing people saying. So like, but he did not, there were so many he didn't pardon that he said he would. He's doing a lot of weird, he's walking back a lot of his promises, which is good for us. Because hopefully it helps.
Did you hear the thing that he apparently wants to reach out to the Democrats?
No.
He said, I wish we could get along with them better. I don't know.
Wow.
I know. I don't know what's
That's
going on.
like when your rapist starts caressing your hair and he wants to have a relationship with you.
Someone
Wants to take you to dinner.
someone said narcissists could be so charming.
Yeah, they can be. It's like, why can't you be my girlfriend? You're like,
Of course. Anyways,
sure, you can be my boyfriend. Get me out of here.
I don't know.
He said he wouldn't, but didn't specific who not to pardon. Oh, so they're all free. Okay, Carmen. Oh, you guys, it's exhausting. I never thought I was going to be a 24/7 politician. Like, we have to constantly follow up on everything. I never thought of executive order and like following. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we're so in this now. We're like, no, I looked it up on the whitehouse.gov website. Who am I? But, we have to be like this now. Right? Like, who the hell are we now? Like, we're just like,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I did. Yeah, I was in movie stuff too. I did stuff with Ruby Keeler and was a big. I did a lot of big Hollywood historian stuff in Los Angeles, and this just was not on my uh, yelling out legislative pieces and getting onto a flight map to see what military equipment was in the air and all the tools that got thrown at me. I don't know who we are. I don't. We work for the State Department now.
yeah, we're all interns at the State Department. Exactly.
Right, we are.
Owen says he's in Paris, and he said he signed an executive order to dissolve the Paris Climate Accord. I knew he'd do that. That's why I was like, people are like, why do you care? Aside from being a woman and a person that gives a shit about the world, I care about the world, like the actual world, climate, all that stuff. It's all of his stuff is disgusting. It's like your biggest nightmare all come true. It's just wild. But seriously, Carmen laughed out loud at us becoming investigative political reporters. We are, you guys. It's so our family just is probably like, oh, here they come again. And we're like, listen, he has to sign the third executive order and it has to happen after the certification and the oath. And they're like, what is going on? And you're like, I don't know.
I lost. No, I acknowledge the fact I lost friends from this.
Yeah.
Like I literally went into some dark space in my life. People going, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Look at this and read this." And I just got this PDF. And when in your life have you ever read a 168 piece document? Like that wasn't a job or a script or something you were working on. When the Jack Smith thing came out, I read that like it was porn, and I just went page after page after page after
Yeah.
page. Read it with a vengeance, and it's like, yeah, very good point. Who are we now? I don't know who we are now. That's even a better question.
Yeah, it's funny. It's really funny. Yeah, I'm like, Bubble Butt 2470 said that after he signs the whatever, and people are just like, who is Bubble Butt? I'm like,
I love
she's
that
on
name.
TikTok. It's her second account. Listen, I don't have time for that. Okay. Bubble Butt it's a huge following and a huge butt, by the way. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I saw also Laura by Design, he did dissolve the reproductiverights.gov website. I can't believe I called you Owen. I'm losing my mind is tired. My mind is tired. Um,
Get a grip, people. Love to.
yeah, believe me. Oh,
Trust me.
Noah.
Trust me. You have a handle. I'll grab onto it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. You muted him for 1 minute. I didn't know you could do like 1 minute. Go sit in the corner for 1 minute if you want to clean up that brain of yours. So anyways, look, find that calm part inside of you. Be investigating, be ready to take action, be thinking, but remember, all action is not progress. I'm going to say that until I'm in the grave, and I'm going to still sit up and go, all action is not progress. And then I'll go back. But all action is not progress because people think doing stuff is like, yeah, let's just do what? Do stuff. Do what? Like, get it together, get a plan, figure it out. So you're in a mood, Lindsay. Good. I like it. Okay, I'm going to bring up Jana and Optimus Prime.
Yay!
Yay!
How you doing?
Yay!
Hi, guys. Do you want your
Hello.
cameras on? No. No. Okay, go ahead. How you doing?
Doing okay. I'm still feeling disgusted. But
Yeah. Understandable. Completely. But I'm proud of you for coming online, for trying to talk to people, trying to, lift yourself up because, many times for me, I would just like sit in a dark room. So, and not even try. So I'm proud of anyone who's coming out and trying to talk to people.
Trump 2025. It's just so
I'm not sure how
stupid.
that's gonna play out, though.
Yeah, we don't know. But that's also part of, not to sound whatever, but that's part of the North Node that just switched into Pisces. We don't know. We don't know the details. We just have to keep, we're in a dark room and we just have to try to help each other, like with what we feel, what we see, what we know, and make our way through the room. It's all we can do. Uh,
As for right now,
Well, remember, you have 218 to 218 between 15 and 23 Republicans voting with the Democrats. They don't have. There's nothing big is going to get through Congress at all. At all. None of that is. So, and if they want to stay reelected, they're not going to let that stuff go. So nothing big's going to happen, and the only small stuff that's going to happen are like agency deals or when he signs those executive orders, which are basically a promise on a beer napkin. They're kind of like suggestive things, depending on what the laws are, or attitudes, or whatever, or their unfunded mandates, which is hard to follow through. So, and I think that, as I understood, I think every single law clerk in America is ready to catch one. Like they anticipated, at least in the state of California, they anticipated this onslaught of executive orders, and they literally have as many people ready to retrieve them and file against them and look for their to tie them up in court immediately. So I know in the state of California, there's been a lot of flexing of our muscles to make sure that we're ready to hit the weird stuff and keep it from going any further.
yeah, I love California right now.
Yeah, we're the last part
what
of
should be
America.
loaded the polls by March, which I'm hoping for.
Where are you
Well,
guys? Where are you, Optimus? What state are you in? Just curious.
I'm in Georgia.
Okay. And Jana, where are you?
I'm in California.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I bet you're California. I feel like you're California.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
she so feels like she's in California.
You're like California. I can
My
feel it. I saw your
nah.
aura, as James says.
Valley girl accent,
I
right?
have always had a Valley Girl
Valley
accent.
girl accent.
It's just the way it goes. How are you doing tonight, Jana?
Um, I'm okay. I'm mostly centered, having moments of just these little moments of like WTF where it just doesn't make sense. I don't think there's anything about the way that the blueberries have been acting that is normal this entire time, which I think is adding to the surreal feeling. Just the silence and the compliance, and it's just very, very strange.
Yeah.
And so that still points to something. I don't know what it points to, but it points
Why
to
were they so
something.
exactly? Why were they so quiet?
They're not acting like they normally do, and it's just very strange. So this isn't business as usual. There's
No,
nothing about this
I
cycle,
thought
we'll
the
call it cycle, that is normal.
no.
Nothing. So
Mm-mm.
I don't think we're, again, for many reasons, I don't think we're wrong to question it. But
Yeah.
it's my question is like, at a certain point, we're going to have to start saying, like, as citizens, like, hey, this was obvious to us. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist for us to figure out what happened. So if you're not going to do anything, like, we're going to call you out on it because we're not dumb. We see it.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Like,
I I saw the girl that does the lip syncing. I love them. The girl with the curly hair here on TikTok.
the
So
lip
when
reader,
yeah, the lip reader. What did I say?
lip syncing.
Lip. I keep doing that. Why do I do that? She's like singing a song, and I'm like, let me bring that up right now in a really tense moment. No, she was doing the lip reading for Obama when he walked into the inauguration today when he talked to George Bush
I
Jr.
saw that. Somebody sent that to me.
Yeah, and he goes, "What can we do to stop this?" And George Bush's face was so cute the way he smiled. I can't believe I think he was cute because I hated him when he was but whatever. He's been cute and funny ever since then. I know, Millie Vanilli. No, so it just I that was the one thing I saw that I was like, "Oh, right there." Remember that Leonardo DiCaprio like thing? I was like, "There, right there, right there." It was like a crack in the whole thing. Why did he if he said that? I don't know. She's usually pretty accurate. But it's hard to read them right now, right? Because it's just like a wall, and then they're smiling, and then it's just like, please give me something, give me a morsel to
The
hang
only
on.
the only real thing that I've watched was them leaving, getting ready to go in the helicopter and the motorcade. And I mean, I just keep thinking, like, what are they going through? What are they feeling this whole time? Like, this has got to be weird because, Hillary Clinton has talked about how difficult 2017, January 2017 was for her. And so it's got to be just such a weird energy.
Oh God,
But
there's
why the
been
but Jenna, what you said was what it was so epically silent.
Yeah.
November 6th beyond. I have never seen an ending of a campaign like that in my life. I've never seen the sound turned off.
Well,
There's a
and Democrats are kind of whiny, like, let's be honest. Like,
Right.
blueberries
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and historically have been kind of, that's their thing, you know?
And there wasn't a peep out of anybody.
No,
It was dead
except
quiet.
AOC kind of spilling the beans a little bit.
oh, I know. And then they shut her down. No, it was. I've said that many times. It was odd how quiet it was right afterwards. Every election, there's always recounts or rechecking in certain counties, even no matter what. They were just like, okay, you guys, he won, and they're like, what? And they go, yeah, he won.
But
He
they
won.
never
It's
use
okay.
those words either,
Okay,
right?
good.
They never
Okay,
use.
so
like
yeah,
it's
that's
not
right.
over.
What'd
What
you
was that?
say?
Like it's not over. Like
No, it's not.
Maybe they just
Okay,
wanted to do it away from a time that there was going to be a lot of attention. Like today, there was so many eyes on everything, even with getting
mhm.
everybody off to the stadium. Like we were all looking. Maybe it's going to come when we least expect it.
hopefully the reveal is gonna come soon. What really happened? Because we need to know.
Optimist, you know what the difference between Los Angeles and Atlanta is?
What?
Accent.
Hmm.
That's it. That's the only difference.
Really?
Yep. When people come to New York and come out to LA, go, what is it about LA? Go, it's Atlanta, Georgia. Just we don't have an
I've
accent.
never been to Atlanta.
It's like Los Angeles.
Wow.
I've been to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's LA. And we for Georgia, I go, guess what? We have something in common. Our cities are the same. Yeah. We're chit chatty and friendly and we'll eat pork roast. That's for the real people here. Yeah.
Hmm.
There's not much different, even culturally at all. Anyway. So I think that, yeah, there's some just, I don't know, some stupid like other shoe needs a drop thing. I just
Can't
don't,
take it no more. I really can't.
huh?
I don't know how much I can take because I'm getting. I feel like they're not doing nothing. I feel like I don't know.
Well, breathe.
This is going to be a little bit of a marathon, and I want to recommend to everybody in here, you're going to have to find ways to regulate your anxiety because you're going to just self-destruct. You've got to breathe, you've got to meditate if you can, take naps, go on walks. I know these all sound like fluffy, like boring things, but trust me, you're going to need to do all these things because if you're just obsessing about this and you're thinking about it and you're worrying about it, it's like you're chewing your hand off. You can't do that. You've got to figure out a way to stay calm because this is going to be resolved one way or the other, either messily or non messily. It is going to be resolved. It's going to be righted. This is a huge wrong, and it goes against more than just blueberries. This goes against the world. This goes against right and wrong. You can't steal something like this. It's like they're trying to silence people. You cannot do that. If people voted that way, then fine, but they didn't. That's not what happened.
Optimus,
Period.
how old? Optimus, can I ask you how old you are? Is that okay?
Yeah, 21.
Okay, all right. Can I step in here a little bit,
Go ahead.
please? Anyways, let me just lift you up some, okay? I can promise you, I have lived through more frightening times than these, and times when we had absolutely no rights whatsoever, and they could take someone like me and put me in a police car and legally pew pew me and off me because the fact is simply that I was gay. That was it, and it was bad for all of us. And we've gone through a long thing. And I remember in the darkest of those times, living underneath regimes that were targeting us, absolutely targeting us. Uh, we still had the cojones to go out and have a really good time, and we partied and ended up in the most austere, pressurized. We're going to come get your stuff, and we're going to make sure you're unalived. Time disco bloomed in the middle of all of that hate. Big, huge, round silver balls and dancing and Donna Summers was built inside of an entire like a human rights crisis of people actively going after a group of people and actually going after them and hating them. And so if you can, is he still there or is he just off? Am I talking to the air? Anyway, well, there you are. Anyways, the point is that you can, you give yourself permission to be uplifted from this. Is it's not going to be that bad, and kind of put on a backpack, and just learn to walk with a little bit of weight behind you. And you're young and you're strong, and you will navigate this without any problem. And this does not need to bother you, and nor do you need to be concerned about it bothering you, because you're smart enough that you're going to figure that shit out early. Nothing's going to catch you by surprise. Okay. You've already got your wits. You're smart. You get your head on a swivel. No one's going to catch you. So you can relax a little bit and just worry when it's time to, when it's time to start moving or hustling or ducking or what do we need to do, you're going to do it on time. So don't carry the burden of being afraid, not reacting in time. That's just going to burn you out. And I'm confident that you can still be 21, have fun, go out and be the best version of yourself, no matter who in the heck thinks that they're going to try to fuck it up for everybody else. You don't have to. We have generations of people of your ancestors and my ancestors that have learned how to party in the shittiest of times and have gotten through it and has made those times a lot easier. So you're going to be okay. Don't breathe it all in. It's not all your responsibility. You know what I mean? You'll be
Yeah.
good. It's okay. I promise.
Hopefully
Sorry,
they get
sorry.
him out of the White House soon. Hopefully they get him out of the White House soon rather than later, because I know it's not over.
No, but we got in next week it'll be something else. And what happens is that you don't get fret. It's just like, oh God, we just got that done, and then we got this to do, and then that guy said that thing. So being involved and being engaged is can be tiring. So don't let it burn you out. And we don't need to react to all of it. We can just understand it. So, and by the way, that's a part of their thing. Part of their thing is a thing called shock and awe. And what they do is they go in there and just fucking keep hitting you, hitting you, hitting you, hitting you, and you're just doing this, and that's how they control you. They control you by hitting you left and right constantly. But like we're gonna trade, Connecticut for Italy, or some stupid thing like that. Was the Saturday Night Live bit last night when they kept mistaking Chris Matthews for Rachel Maddow, which was hysterical.
Oh
Anyway,
no, I didn't see that.
but yeah, you should be or experiment with the fact that you're going to be okay. and you got to go for the long haul, the long walk. And you're smart. You're not going to. It's not going to get you down. It's not going to catch you by surprise. You're too smart. It's going to be fine. They're not bright. Criminals are not bright. They're not bright, and they're not fast.
Thank you for saying all that because I think it was for all of us here. So thank you for saying that. Um, yeah, I mean, also you have to think about it. Our ancestors dealt with way worse shit. I mean, this is bad, but there's way. That's why we don't want to go back. We say we're not going back. Why do you want? Why do you think we say that? Because back then it sucked. Things were really bad, and as far back as you go is how bad it gets. So they were able to survive crazy stuff. They were having babies, they were having medical stuff, they were having birthdays. I mean, they were living life and they were doing stuff. And somehow we're the ancestor, or we're the what do you call it? Not ancestors. We're the
Descendants.
descendants of the people that survived. So we have it in us. We have it in our DNA to also survive this. We can do this. And it's going to just blow your mind to watch and see how this makes heroes rise out of these ashes. And it's going to be great. But yeah, is there going to be some destruction along the way? Yeah. But we can do hard things. We can do hard things. We can survive a lot of stuff. We just have to keep looking for the light and keep managing I really think it's important to manage our emotions. Yeah, exactly, Lindsay. Pressure makes diamonds.
Right. And remember at the same time is you can go back on every single thing that you've ever had that supposedly you were so afraid was going to scare you. And you have a track record in your own brain. Everybody who's in this, what we got 153 people in here, is that you can track through your own brain since the time that you were born until now, that everything that you thought was going to be horrible, everything you thought that was going to be bad, never, ever, ever once did it add up or come near what you were imagining. Your imagination takes you to the complete height of adrenaline to run. And the reality has never, ever met any human being's ever expectation. Operations, situations, all of it. Seldom have we been knocked down. We've been like, God, I wish I hadn't worried so much. It wasn't that, that thing. And then we do that over and over again. So what we're doing right now is, I have a heart cloud. Anyways,
Yeah.
the so what we do now is it we just make sure that we breathe and go forward and not let this stuff kind of take us down, and make sure we're know that it's just okay to be mentally healthy, and that we're this is not going to be anywhere near as bad as you think it's going to be. Your imagination, our negative imaginations, which is fueled by cortisol and stress hormones and epinephrine, we're just like, and we just take it to this huge nuclear thing. So it's just never going to be that bad. We have very vivid imaginations, and that's what makes us exciting people. But at the same time, it can be applied to the to the wrong kind of vision. So for a fact that it's never as bad as you think it's going to be, and for that reason, when you look back on it, remember how terrified was everybody on the day we finally established the fact that we were about to be into a pandemic? How frightening was that? And look at us all now. We're like, oh yeah, well, I stayed home. I washed my hands. I wore my mask. I delivered food in. It's like, oh, we're all like this about it. But before it went, we were just like, penny, penny, the sky's falling. We thought this thing was going to be a friggin' nightmare. And was it? Yes. But did we get through it? Yeah. Was it as bad as we thought it was? Nah, not really. And we got
Yeah.
our vaccines and we went on. So I think you're good. Just remember the shock and awe stuff is that's what they peddle. There's actually a book on it, I think called it's called Shock and Awe. And it tells you what the science is to knock society down. It's from their playbook. It's also from Russia. You scare the public constantly, and then they just become really punchy. So
And not only
don't fall into it.
scare, but create a sense of chaos.
Yeah,
Constant chaos, constant like things to solve, and like, oh my God, reproductive rights. Oh my God, and you're it's like whack-a-mole, but like
yeah.
Like
Shock and
freaking
error with a
overwhelm.
T. Error with a T,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
I was going to say too that I think that, if you need comfort or you need something to help you, this seems like an appropriate moment to reread A Diary of Anne Frank. to read Native Son, to look at Night by Elie Wiesel, to look at the people who have persisted in dark times and use that as inspiration. That's what helps me.
I'm gonna go get off this, but thanks for having me on.
Thank
All
you
right,
for
sweetie pie,
coming
you'll
on
be
here.
okay. Make sure you reach out to me or message me if you need me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to be all right, honey. I
I'll
know
go to
it's
Give you a
sleep.
scary. I know
hug.
it's scary. Yeah. I love you, sweetie pie. Don't be scared.
Bye. I think I have to disconnect. Okay, yeah. Okay, there he is. I wanted to say too, I always say this, but near-death experiences, people sharing their near-death experiences gives me a lot of hope about the bigger picture and like the fact that there is an ultimate kind of thing that is aware of everything that people do. And one of the people that died in my life that really threw me off, he was God, it's hard for me to say it. He left an abusive relationship. He was very afraid of her because she threatened to unalive him. And I was trying to help him and I was talking to him every day. And anyways, he ended up on the train tracks at the BART station in San Francisco and he got run over. So when I got that news, it leveled me. And but so that's a whole nother story. For a whole nother night. But I was thinking, oh my God, that's insane. And then I'm like looking, I mean, I went through hell. It wasn't like, oh my God, it's insane. I don't know why I just said that. It was way dark. It was really bad. But I heard this guy being interviewed, I think on the BBC or something, who was run over by a train and he survived and he had the most incredible near death experience. And this was in the UK. So I actually interviewed him for my podcast, Death Talk Podcast. So my link is in my bio if you want to check out that episode. It's on Apple or Spotify or whatever. But one of the things that helped me get through my friend who died was feeling like he left his body before it happened. He didn't have to experience the pain. And that helped me because I couldn't get past that part of it, which was shocking to me. I was like, I would think I could get over. I couldn't. I kept thinking, oh my God, how afraid was he? And I had an experience where I took a nap and he showed me that he left his body before the train came. So anyways, fast forward to this guy who I believe his name's James. I'm drawing a blank, but I think his name is James. And yeah, and he's on YouTube. He's done a lot of big interviews. So he's a big, big guy. Oh, Seer Blue Dahlia had a near-death experience. Okay, good. I want to talk to you. So the first thing I asked him, I was so excited to be able to interview him because it was sort of like my comeback was like starting to do podcasts and starting to talk to people and try to come out of this darkness and this shock and trying to give back. And I go, so when, the train, he got his jacket caught on something or whatever when the train was pulling away. It was an above ground train and he got underneath the train. And I go, so you left your body during all that and you didn't feel it, right? He goes, oh no, I felt all of it. I was conscious through the whole thing. And I was like, why am I interviewing this guy right now? It was the worst. I was just like, what do you mean? And he was like, it was the absolute. And I go, well, you didn't feel any pain, did you? And he goes, oh yeah, it was extremely painful. I was like, what? And he goes, but then he went into this other realm. And then, hi, Ecofusion. He went into this other realm. He comes back. He knows how to do classical music. He can produce and compose classical music. He never did that before. He's been making these amazing paintings. He's been selling his paintings. So even though he went through all of that and experienced the terror of that and all of that, and somehow someone finally got the train to stop, they got him out. He was in the hospital for months and months and months. I mean, it was a horrible, horrible, scary thing. Even that, people survive that and worse and still do good in their lives and have a story to tell and have something good that comes out of it. So I hope I didn't just freak you out before you went to bed, but you guys are all going to have train nightmares now, and I'm sorry. But I'm trying to make the point of like, we're attached to all these things. Like, well, hopefully this doesn't happen because if this happens, I'm going to freak out. Well, this is going to happen. If every time I say, I hope this doesn't happen, this happens. So guess what? We can get through it. We can get through it. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything that happens, we can get through it. You find a strength in you that you didn't even think was there. You didn't even know. You're like, how the hell did I get out of that? You just do, because we're strong, resilient, intelligent people. We figure it out. We lean into the light. We do all that stuff. So everything. Joking here. We are now a train wreck. I know. We are now in a train wreck. That's right. That's appropriate to talk about a train accident on tonight's live. So there you go.
Well, I think about how I dealt with the first administration of the orange one, and I do know that I'm going to need to check out of the news for a while, hopefully not all 4 years, but I think that that'll help me as just kind of insulating to a certain extent, like holding the hope, holding the energy, but making sure I'm not getting caught up in all the details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that we all agree that that voice is just completely numbing of it just makes my tissue rot. I've never heard anything more irritating in my life. So I think just putting him on mute would really be handy. You know, you need to be up to date, read about what he said, don't listen to it. Like there's something Deeb, like Dune about his voice that's just like, rattles the earwax in there for some reason and causes an aneurysm. So I just can't listen to him. So I think that probably if we've got, vocal phobias on him, I think just turn down, just don't hear it. Just
Yeah.
if it's ABC News, just pause it. Don't let his voice vibe you. If you
Well,
need to
or
know what
what
he
he's
said,
doing, right? Not
right.
just his voice, but like the things he does.
Oh God, yeah, it's all performative because basically all
Yeah.
you have to worry about is it going to be a law in Congress? And everybody spent 2016 to the end of his bit screaming through the whole thing. What did he pass? Nothing. He didn't pass anything, and he messed with Obamacare so bad it collapsed veterans into Medicare, which they claimed to cover. That was like, oh, they meant to do that. No, once you start pulling apart Obamacare, it eventually collapses into single payer. So it's like leave it alone. So he didn't pass anything. So I don't understand where the legislative agenda comes from, and passing these rules. It's like I don't know.
He's not going to have support. He's not going to be able to get as much, all this big bad stuff is, he's not going to be able to do a lot.
Where's
So,
the budget come from for the roundup? That's what is that
oh, it's,
estimated? OMB said it was $8 billion, and the just the infrastructure for it and stuff. It's like, and that's got to be appropriated through Congress. Who's going to appropriate that? You know. In the meantime, they sent out, a couple of, fat dudes in some black T-shirts into neighborhoods of Seattle and Bakersfield to try to get the PR campaign going. But those will, don't comply. You know, how you can say to them, "How do I know that you're legitimate? I want a police officer here to identify you. You're not our regular police force. I've never seen you before. I know what Bakersfield PD, I know what LAPD looks like. I know what San Francisco PD. I don't know what an ICE agent looks like. You need to call the police officer before I'm going to be even dealing with you because I don't know who you are. You know, and
Unfortunately, those raids already started,
yeah, they
right?
started
yeah,
That
and
before.
that
I
is really scary. Yeah.
I just think that they're just being. I think that this is overreaching. I don't even know how legitimate those agencies are right now.
Someone said, Laura said, someone said to call him FOTUS. I like that. Hi, namaste.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, everybody on the panel and in the live.
I wanted to bring you up because you were so awesome earlier today. Thank you so much for coming up earlier.
Thank you. It meant a lot to me. I've been listening to everything, and I just wanted to say that I think right now, this is just where I'm coming from. I think that people are in a real sense of shock right now and grieving so deeply and feeling such a sense of betrayal. And when I hear things like um, that, it's been worse than it is right now, I think a lot of people right now think it's, even though maybe haven't lived in times like that in the past, that, like you said, you've experienced, James, but the potential of the gravity of this situation is very intense, and it has such a grave potential, and we don't want to scare people, but I think it's important that we do acknowledge like the energy that's out there, and we do want to make sure people feel gosh, I'm looking for the right words and also to be careful because I know we don't want to like encourage people to stay in a negative space, but also we want people to feel safe and also to like help them heal because today isn't like when somebody first like has, let's say, like a traumatic accident or something, that's not the moment to tell them that they shouldn't have been doing whatever they were doing to have um, that experience, right?
Yeah.
You would be with them and you would hug them, you would love them, you would help take care of their like if they're cut or they have a broken leg or whatever, you would help take care of their wound. You would get a bandage and you would cover it up and you would give them water and you would give them food and you would help take care of them, right? Today's that day. Today's that day to help with energy in a calm way, and not things like, I think this is just where I'm coming from because I'm an empath. I really am feeling the energy, and I I think that today, if people aren't feeling cared about, I know everyone's heart is in the right place, but I think people need to feel a sense of love and that their despair that they feel right now is being acknowledged, not that you have to be happy, you have to be optimistic, because that may come eventually, but today isn't the day, maybe,
I want to give James an opportunity to comment on that, but can I say something really
yeah.
fast?
Yes.
So, two parts of that. One is because we're on a texting, video texting format, we can't do a lot of that stuff that people would need in that way. So it's a little bit difficult. We're left to just being our words and like, here's what I've been through, here's my reality. But the second part to that is we're also dealing with it. It's not like only someone at a certain demographic is dealing with what happened today. It's all of us are dealing with it. And we're all like kind of trying to manage our own self. And so when it comes to that, and I think when we get older, that's what we see from experience, is that you really are responsible for managing your way out of these things, and people can't really do that much. And I think that if I were physically in a room with someone, I probably would hug them, I probably would do all kinds of things, but because I'm not, this is the best thing I can do here, is even just to show up. I could just turn off this camera, sit in the dark, and be like, good luck everybody. I am putting myself out there because I want to connect with people and I want to be a face to a message and to words. And that's why I want to pull people up here too. And I'm not saying you're not saying that, but that's what came up in me when I heard you. But anyways, I want to hear what James has to say. Go ahead.
Um, Again, because the fact that this is a two-dimensional medium, the only thing I can do is give everybody a foundation or a base to basically, as they start to heal themselves, to think that perhaps this is survivable. And if it is survivable, then it's okay for me to start feeling better. I wanted to give that little baby in Atlanta, in Georgia, a big hug. I can't. So the only thing I can do with him is make him feel safe and make him feel that he has strength to go forward, because I can't coddle or hold him and tell him I understand it's really creepy and he's horrible and I don't want this to happen to you. So I think just because we're limited by the format a little bit, we may be coming off a little brute de force for your taste. But I think because the only fact is the fact that I don't have anything else to offer in that's going to be lasting. So at least maybe that gets maybe filed in the back of their head, and as they start to stand up, go, well, that guy said it was worse sometime. Maybe hopefully that'll support someone a little bit. I think to lean on something to get better, because I don't want anybody to suffer and I don't want anybody to hurt. But again, I hear you. This is not toxic positivity by any means. So by not addressing it, it's just that there's only so much I can do. So maybe a little bit of a cheerleader thing may seem like, dude, I skinned my knee. Don't go, hey, we're gonna be better. Like, give me a minute. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that, but I all my own thing is give me a pass. I'm just trying to give them like literally a foundation. Just like, okay, maybe I'm gonna be okay and I can stand up on this. So that's kind of what I'm kind of trying to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. And thank both of you for your sharing your thoughts, and I hope I didn't offend either one of you. I
No,
just
no, I think you're right.
even in my heart
I
too.
no, I think there's something to be said for toxic positivity. I'm like, sometimes it's just like, no, something shitty just happened to me. Would you just fucking back it up a second? I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry and let me get the fuck over it. You know, it's just don't try to pep talk me out of this right now. No, I hear you 100%. And I think you coming up here and making that thing, I think brings a finer focus to what we're talking about right now. And the fact that it's just like, yeah, that is being done. But again, we're kind of like, all thumbs and elbows because we can't hug anybody, or it's just I'm a little box going, it's going to be okay. I'm limited in my in what I can do, though I want to try to do something. If that, yeah. So I think we're
Yeah.
And
good.
I'm a little bit worried about Optimus if he's still in here because he came earlier to my live and he sent me some private messages and then he's in here again and I really want to be there for him but it's hard because I mean I don't know what to do or say to that level. I wish I were in the same town as him because I would literally go, yeah, thank you. You'll PM him. Thank you. Like if we were in the same town or whatever, I'd be like, let's go have coffee. Let's go meet at a park. Let's all go physically be with each other because there is something about that physical contact and looking in someone's face and their eyes and just something about that. But I can't. I'm in Arizona. He's in Georgia. Like he's coming in here. He's talking. We're talking. Like I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I'm worried about him too. I've really been picking up on his energy, and I think he's not alone. I think there's a lot of people that might be feeling very similar to him. I actually know some people that might be feeling similar to him as well. And I just, and I am so grateful to you, particular Lisa. You know, I expressed that so much earlier, and I am so thankful for your platform, and I do think that you are doing so much good. So you already know where I stand
Yeah.
with you. But I just think that today is like this special day of, and maybe even tomorrow, maybe even for a few days, it's like I guess licking the wound is maybe the what I'm trying to say just for a little bit. And you're right. It's not really anybody's actual responsibility because you're right. You've got the wound too. Everyone on this panel has the wound. It's not that it's anybody's job to do it. It's just I think that right now, like because like you're this is your life, and those of us that call ourselves intuitives or empaths or whatever, those of us that recognize that we have any type of gift, I believe we're all gifted, but we we I think that if we recognize we have a gift and we are trying to use it, um, it's important to try to, and I'm not trying to preach at anyone, maybe myself, to try to recognize the timing of things. And I think the timing of what's happening today is, for myself, acknowledging like it's it's such a fresh outcome. What's happening, people are just reeling, and so to like I understand the positivity of all of it, and we do want to keep the space optimistic, but I just think that right now people are hurting so much. I don't know. That's all I wanted
No,
to
no.
say.
And like I said earlier, when you came in and said that, it helped me drop a little bit more into my own heart space. And so I do appreciate that because sometimes I do get information based because that as you get older, that's what you do. You just start trying because you have to figure things out. You're like, that's life. That's being an adult. You're always having to like figure out so much layers of shit. Like we were joking about earlier, none of us want to know this much about the government. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want to learn about storytelling and mythology and like, I want to learn about something else. I don't want my energy spent doing this, but okay. So I'm really appreciative of your perspective, but I also believe that we all hear a different baby crying in the woods. Your baby crying in the woods is compassion and bringing things into the heart. And that's important for you to be an advocate for that message. And but everyone's going to have a different thing and different way of showing up to a place, and every person showing up is bringing a different thing. But you're right, it's good to be let's remember to bring the heart into this. Let's not forget the power of compassion and just sitting with energy, sitting with a pain, acknowledging a fear and a wound and all of that. And I agree with that completely. But I guess my call is action oriented right now,
Mm-hmm.
to get on here, and I have to be strong too, because I've got people sending me messages of like really nice things. I have to be kind of like strong in my perspective, in my position, and I am strong in my position, and I do feel strong in that. But I hope I'm making sense. But
You are, and there
yeah,
is a balance, and my balance is probably too far on the other spectrum. And so maybe when we're all together, it's somehow it
yeah,
meets that balance or whatnot. But thank you for letting
I
me
agree
speak.
with
I
that.
appreciate it.
I absolutely agree with that. I said that earlier, and I think that what you said is that how profound, darling, that we're each hearing a different baby cry in the woods. That like gave me goose pimples. It's like, yeah, I'm listening to people that need to be got up, and you're listening to people that need to be coddled and healed, and we're trying. I guess we're all responsible for different sectors of the population that need a different kind of comforting and so forth. I think that's yeah, and you need to be here too in the same way that we all do. Is the fact that there's people that still need that different kind of special attention. I think it's perfect. I think we all have a job.
yeah. We all fulfill something different. That's why I always say, if we were meant to go through this experience alone, we'd be one person per planet. We're here together because we're meant to be together. We're meant to combine our strengths and weaknesses and all of that together. But it's important for each person to check in with themselves and what they're truly bringing. And I really feel what you're saying is authentic. It doesn't feel judgy. It feels like you're really authentically talking from the heart. And I feel that. It immediately makes me drop into my own heart. So I appreciate that
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Thank you too. Thank you for your openness. It really means a lot. I'm gonna drop though. I'm gonna stay with you all in the live, but
Okay.
come off of the off of the panel so that if you wanted to bring anyone else up, you could. Thank you so much for letting me
You have a
speak.
beautiful speaking
I
voice too.
know.
It's just full of sunshine and love and all kinds of good stuff.
Her
I could
voice is
listen.
a
I
salve.
know, I know. I could
Thank you
listen.
so
Right.
much.
I could
Yeah.
listen to you read the phone book.
That's what I
Seriously.
told her when she came
Yeah.
up before. I was
Yeah.
like, can I listen to you every morning? I just feel immediately calmer. Like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
It
all so much.
sure.
Thank you.
Take good care, everybody. Be safe.
Thank you. That was nice. Okay, Jana,
Yeah.
did you want to say something? I saw you popped your mute off.
Yeah, I I wanted to talk about something that I've felt concerned about since like this all started in November, because there have been a lot of high emotions around this whole process. And I read comments. I probably shouldn't read comments on posts, but I read the comment section a lot, and the common comment is like, I can't bear to hope. I can't go any longer. It's hope too much, and people talking about how anxious or depressed they are going through these things. And it just makes me concerned about how much we as a society put our personal happiness on what's going on around us. That's not to say these things aren't significant. When they do start to affect us in a tangible way, that will be different, right? If something happens that personally affects you, you know? But it just concerns me that people are getting very dysregulated by these things. And it makes me just think that that's an issue across the board for people, you know, not just around this, but around other things too. And for me, I've really tried to stay as grounded as I possibly can and just come back to what is actually going on in my life. Like, my cat wants my attention, and like I need to wash my dishes, and I need to, go take a shower and to focus on like what's immediately in front of me, what I can actually control. I made a video about this way back in the beginning,
Oh,
just
good.
because so much of this is far, far out of our reaches and far, far out of our control. And taking that locus of control from the outside, from the external world, and going back into your internal world, and what are you creating? And that's how we manifest, right? That's how we create, is by what is our internal world like, and how do we reflect that outwards? And so, you know, I hear what she's saying about be empathetic to where people are at. I felt very upset with how people responded to the fires in California. Like they were jumping on it so fast, and we were still raw and grieving with it. Like I hear that tracks with that experience for me. But in this situation, I'm a fire sign. I feel this call to fight, right? I feel this call to say, find our power, feel your power, don't fall into powerlessness.
Um, yes, and I think that's why it's good that everybody they're all hearing a different baby. They're all hearing a different baby crying in the woods. Okay. One thing I'll say about that though is someone said, something about privilege. I do believe some of that can dip into that. If we say, well, it's not really affecting me. I need to get back to my life. And
And
I don't think that's the way you meant it. I don't feel that way, because really what I think it is more about is having balance and pulling back into yourself, coming into your body and taking care of the immediate things in your life, like shower, eating, caring for your animal, things like that. But you're not going to help anyone in the world if you don't pay your bills and you're homeless, and then now your animal is, you know what I mean? Like, so you do need to pull into yourself, and you need to take care of yourself and get offline, get off in that doom and gloom scrolling and all that, get back into yourself. But she said, and come into your power. So I just want to save people in the room who are thinking like along those lines. I don't think, and I'll let her answer too, but I just want to say there's a thin little line there of like where it could kind of go in a way of whatever, but I personally don't think she meant it that way. But go ahead and answer to that, Jenna.
well, and I understand that criticism. My thing is that I want to be in my full power so that I can step in and defend those less privileged than me. I don't know what that step would be. That's why I was mentioning things that happened in the First World War, is because, or Second World War, because you have to take your role, you have to take your position. And I hope that if there's something that happens, that I can find my way to help other people, But
Yeah.
this is going to affect me too. Like I'm 38 years old. I would like to be a mom. I want to have children. Like and when this all happened, I started thinking maybe I never will, because I don't want to risk pregnancy. And what would happen if I had something go wrong during a pregnancy? Like that's my dream. And I was about to give up on my dream. So like the color of my skin makes me privileged, but I still am a woman, and I'm still vulnerable. I'm still of reproductive age. I could die in the ER. Like that's real to me.
Yeah. Did you want to say something, James?
Um, yeah, I just hope that, again, I think that what we can't lose sight of is why in the hell were we all brought to coalesce and come together. I just even meeting you guys, made my life a more, a way better thing. So I think that instead of like us, granulating everything that we're saying and seeing if they fit all these little spots right now as people are going through this bumpy moment, I think that the bigger deal is that I think the reason that we can maybe just not be completely panicked is because of the fact that there is a coalescing of a whole bunch of people with power and ability. What does that mean? How is that going to affect all of us individually and together as a group? And if we know what we went through last time, don't listen to him and stop taking the sucker punches and quit the habit of, did you hear what he said? Just stop. We've heard it for 10 years. They're all going to be weird. They're all going to be stupid. Just make sure if it gets to the floor of the house, then that's when you can worry about it. because you can save half your grief on this thing by just tuning him out. He doesn't say anything that affects you. He just says weird stuff to upset you.
Mm-hmm.
That's his
Yeah.
whole MO. His followers like it, and if you can just turn him off, this will be a whole lot. It'll be a little bit easier going through. So
I mean, I wonder if we could ask the chat like what they feel like they need right now. You know, we feel like we know what our roles are, you know, how we want to speak, but what do they
good
find comforting?
point.
Yeah, what do you, not just what you find comforting, but what is it that you think you need right now in the chat? Thank you. That's a
How can
good,
we support you?
I don't really want to support anybody though. No, I'm just kidding. just write it down and like journal, man. What am I? God? No, I'm just kidding. No, really, write it down. I just been curious. That's a very good question. Cause yeah, we don't know. We make assumptions all the time, don't we? We project what we want onto others, and then other people are like, oh no, I don't want that at all. And you're like, oh, okay.
Depends on your
Laura,
human design. Some types already seem to know what people want. I'm a generator, so I respond to what's being requested.
I like what Laura said. Keep reminding myself what MLK went through. I met his daughter at a lecture and was impressed. I like that. Vanessa says this community helps. Good. I need to know that I'm not alone. Mary, 1432.
Common experiences shared. Yeah.
Jojo, common experience shared. I love that. My chat just bounced forward, so I'm trying to find it. Jenny, remind myself that we're not alone. This community has been very helpful for me since November. Good. Me too. Same. Gio, I just love listening to other people expressing their fear, concerns, but also their hope and strength. Same. I get a lot of strength out of that. Emmy is community for sure. Christine, Ryan, grace for one another if there's love. Masara, Miss Sarah, validate our emotions. Namaste, great question. Community, place to share energy. Nova Center, grounding and meditation helps. Okay, now I have to go back down. Sweet Melly, community. Community for sure. Okay. Also, another thing is I found in my little bumpy journey of Pluto and Capricorn and just life, usually what I think other people need to do is what I need to do. That's what I'm saying about baby crying in the woods. A lot of times I start getting judgy, and I'm not saying anybody here is judgy. I'm just saying we start to see a problem in the world because it's a call for us to start paying attention to it in ourselves. So there's an imbalance there for ourselves. So like for me, I may not have to do something that somebody else said. Maybe my thing is to take more action. Maybe, you know what I mean? We have to listen to ourselves. I really think that that's the key to so many things is listen. Yeah, it's projection. We have to really listen to ourselves and know that we have to put the mask on ourselves first, or we're not gonna be able to help anybody. But to know what that mask is, you have to check in with yourself. Somebody else isn't going to be able to tell you what your mask is. No one knows except for you.
I mean, I think you're spot on with that. Like, whatever annoys you is often something that you do, you know,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think working on, like, for me in my life, I put a lot of emphasis on what results am I getting? And if I get good results, I'm doing the right thing. And if I get bad results, I'm doing the wrong thing. And I'm really working on releasing that, you know, because sometimes I'm doing the right thing and for whatever reason, things aren't, you know, coming together in the way that I had hoped or planned. But, you know, if I get thrown off and discouraged every time, that's not going to help me achieve the things I want to achieve.
Osama Bean said, wait, what'd you say about the Lotus website? Let me go back. Has anyone checked Lotus website? It has an update. Okay, I haven't checked it. Could someone go check it and let us know? Also, there's a woman-owned app for women called Communia. Communia. I'm glad you found us, Mary. I'm very glad. Yeah, I mean, all anyone can do is share their truth. At the end of the day, that's really all any of us can do for each other, because what I think is going to help someone isn't always what helps them. Sometimes, like, I'll have this whole idea of what I think I'm going to do for someone, and it ends up being some other weird thing. They're like, whenever you would come in the room, I liked watching you put lotion on your hands. And I'm like, I like went on a monologue about the pain that I went through as a child. I tore myself apart to give you my life jewels, wisdoms, and they just liked the way that I put lotion on my hands. You know, we have no control over how what people are going to get out of us. We can try, we can feel called to something, we can share it. But at the end of the day, like even right now, I'm saying this, half the people are like, blah, 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 she's annoying. When's the other girl going to talk? I mean, it's like no matter what we do, it's like you can have the best heart and keep trying and think that it's enough because you tried. But at the end of the day, what people get is what people get. And you just have to keep being yourself and putting your heart out there. I know that's your type of humor, James. Like, blah, blah, blah. Where's the other girl?
Oh God, no. I've always been. I don't know. I've always been the guy that picked everybody up and said, "It's just come on, come on, come on. It's not going to be that bad," you know. And in the darkest hours of stuff I've been through, my mom's boyfriend tried to do pew pew us one night in
Mhm.
Idaho, chased us through a woods with a shotgun. So, you know, and in the middle of it, you know, as my mom fell down a ravine, and I said, "Don't go over there." It was a full moon night in Bayview, Idaho, and she went down the ravine. When she got up out of that thing, she looked in the moonlight at her nylons, and she said, "Oh my God, I'm going to call Christian Dior in the morning and say, I don't have a run anywhere." And I just said, seriously, all of this is about the fact that you didn't have a run in your pantyhose? And I could not stop laughing. There's a man chasing around Farragut State Park, shooting all this pew pew and stuff like that, going, "Ah," and she's going, "Oh my God. There's not a
Yeah.
run in these nylons," you know. So I don't know. People process grief differently and so forth. And when you realize that if you've been blessed enough to have a breather in the middle of a crisis, you realize these things are manageable, even when they're very confronting,
Yeah.
and they're much more manageable than we know. And I've had many horrible crises like that where we're somewhere in the middle of it. You know, you're just going, "Are you kidding me?" You know, if you could just keep a little bit of sense of humor about it, you know, it really gives you a lot more gas and a lot more, you know, kind of astronaut, airline pilot kind of, you know, little bit of gallows humor goes a long way in making sure that you become indelible and you endure and that you get through and stuff. So, you know, a lot of things are a long haul. But I don't think I still think that this is really magical. I think the fact that we have a place to go to, if this didn't happen, we would all be just bemoaning on some political, you know, live of like, you know, pro and con, who's better, who's not, you know, people asking MAGA people, what are the three branches of government, and just that usual rang-a-dang that they do to each other and stuff. And we would have no place to go. I think a part of this, the fact that this came together on this particular night, I would certainly want to be here and not in some political discourse looking for healing through arguing with the opposition. This is I'm like really grateful. The first thing I thought of tonight when I said, I think I you know, I want to be with my people. I think that's what my emotional conclusion was after the day kind of ended. I just said, I'm gonna told everybody in my house. I said, I'm gonna find me some 420 Club members, and you know, I'm gonna have a cocktail with them and say what the heck's going on. So that was when I came on and I saw the pitchforks and the burning torches of, like, you know, off with the heads. It's
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh no, 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 no,
No.
no. I
I
do understand. Again, I understand if they were like, well, all these psychics said this was going to happen, and the fact that it didn't happen that way, I have no argument with them being upset with supposedly us. But at the same time, it's just like, but time out. Why the heck did we all round up?
yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you need to I don't think you should be leaving yet, or condoning it too quickly until you figure out, well, then why the heck were we all grouped together, and why were we making those statements? So why
But
don't we finish out the experiment?
I think those people that are saying all that stuff were never part of the 4 a.m. club. That's what I'm
Oh, oh,
saying.
oh.
We're assuming,
I'm a Boy Scout. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I'm Shirley Temple. I always forget that there's people that don't have
yeah.
that aren't for good. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I got
No,
it.
and
Okay.
I think maybe they were like the kind of people that are kind of maybe lazy about their spirituality, and they just like were like, oh yeah, I hope that's right, all along. I hope they're right, and they're just like, and then it doesn't work out, and they go, see, I told you guys, you're not right. Okay, you're not investing anything. You're not checking in with your own spirituality. You're not doing, nobody is responsible for you. And I'm not going to go back down that lane because I know I get mad about that. But I want to tell you that Jace made a comment from your nylon story, and it said, grief. Once wrote an eyeliner review from the hospital bed with a broken spine because the eyeliner stayed. Nurses even complimented. So your mother has inspired yet another funny story. That's good. I feel like, you can double tap on my face, Miss J do. Just double tap like right here, I think, somewhere, and that'll be how you can like the live. I feel like the Howard Stern of the 4 a.m.ers because I'm always on at night. Like, they're never, like,
The
I
live
swear.
doula. You're the
I
live
know.
doula. You're the live doula and the Howard Stern live doula.
Yeah. I want
No,
people to get out of their comfort zone and go live. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm late night. I'm always like, okay, you guys, how do you feel? Like they're all, by the time I wake up, they've all done like 3 lives and posted 7 videos. I'm like, what? I'm so
I'm
behind.
with you. I'm with you, Lisa. I'm the late night club.
Yeah.
I can't honestly because I've seen it's ethical
Ethical
psychic.
psychic. Yep.
Right. Yeah, because I watch her a lot, but she's on like because I'm here in California, she's on real early, you
She's in
know?
California. She's in
Yeah.
LA.
So she's on real early and I'm just like I'm like I don't know, I don't feel that psychic yet. I'm like my thing is it for always ever since I was a kid, once the I guess human beings laid down and everything got turned off, it seems like then whatever it is that we do or what I do would like just really come up full, like a full antenna of it. A lot of downloads and a lot of stuff, and it came at me at always at night. It was always the most psychic time where things came to me really quickly. So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
I was like, yeah, I absolutely. I think we need to have a we need to have an overnight show. Definitely have an overnight show because this is the time that I want to talk about that.
Me
I mean,
too.
yeah. It seems like it's I don't know some kind of witching hour or something.
All the insomniacs that can't, stressing out, can't sleep. Well, she, psychic, ethical psychic, she did send me some messages. She wanted me to come on her live. I think one of them I popped into, but I don't think she saw me. And besides, I was like, I had gotten off my live and I was like, I need to go to the store. I need to be in my energy because I had a very good live earlier. I don't know if anyone else was here. I love that live and I posted it on YouTube. I thought it was really
The one
positive.
earlier today?
Yeah.
You just went live once before? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
good.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, for being the first thing after realizing we were kicked in the
Right.
dick, I mean,
Mhm.
it was a good,
Yeah.
I felt like it was good and I like what people were saying. Oh, good. You were here too, Brenda. But when I got off, you know how like TikTok just starts showing you stuff? That's when I saw the pitchfork videos, James. And I went, oh my God. And I hadn't seen anything like that yet. And I was like, whoop, whoop, and I was looking around going, and then I saw some comments on some of my videos. And then I was like, all right, that's it. And I shut the app down. I went to Trader Joe's. I got some yummy little, snacky, crunchy things and took care of myself. I took a really good nap and then I knew I would come back on later. So that's what you have to do. And another thing I want to say about the whole thing about Optimus Prime and our advice or our feedback, and I kind of feel like me and James are sort of coming from the same type of place. What I would say too is that I think when you go through darkness, like real darkness in your life, and you've gotten yourself out of it, one of the things is you don't want the person to settle into the despair because we know how easy that is to go into where you feel powerless and you feel alone. And I mean, I'll speak for James because I'm his spokesperson, clearly. No, I'll speak for myself. I'm activated into like, I don't want you to go down. So I'm going to tell you what I've been through and maybe that'll
I
help.
don't
Maybe it
want them
won't
to
help.
spiral. I don't want them to spiral.
Yeah.
That's get them out of the tailspin.
Yeah. And we're limited. We're so limited here. Like, you know. And so I don't really know what does it look like to be there for someone who's spiraling on a social media app that you can't be with them physically. I don't have their phone number. I don't know them other than in here and their name. How can I truly be there for that person? I don't know what that looks like other than what I do, you know?
Yeah.
It did feel like he started to shut down, and maybe it felt like we were speaking another language or something, you know, he talking about stuff that's, you know, he can't relate to on some level. But yeah, I feel for him. I mean, being 21 is such a, you know, it's such a vulnerable age, I think, to
Yeah.
have these major things happening. I hope he feels better. Is he still in here?
I don't know. He comes and goes. He's one of
He
the pop
came
in,
in.
pop out. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that night that other guy was. Do you remember, Lisa, when we were live? You were live and I was on with you, and there was that, or I was messaging in the chat. I wasn't on live, but that guy was like really in a dark place,
Oh
and you were
yeah.
like, "Let me take this."
He was saying that we know nothing's good. Like it doesn't matter. People suck. Like, I mean, I was worried about him
It was
becoming a
like
food viewer.
everything is
Like,
terrible, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah,
But then before I was like, don't kick him out because I could tell he was young for one. Just in the
yeah,
text, he didn't even come up. We were just texting. I could tell he was young, and I could tell that he underneath anger and things like that is fear. There's either fear or there's love. If you're angry, that's fear. And so I knew when, so I just started just getting beneath it, beneath it, beneath it. And it turns out he just, ultimately, he's just afraid. He doesn't really, you know, a lot of young men, no one talks to them like that. They
they
don't
don't know
like
how
it.
to
When they
talk about
see,
their
yeah, when they
feelings.
see anger,
Yeah,
they're like, ew, clean up your act, you know, get it together. I'm not like that. When I see someone like that, I saw him that he came into the room, he logged on to TikTok, he came into a room where people were talking about spirituality. And he sat there and he even tried, even though he was negative and weird, he was trying. The fact he was trying made me try. And then by the end, he was like, I
yeah.
feel better. And I was like, I
Do you
love
want
it.
to
Oh,
do you want to tell that person what the 4 a.m. club is?
I don't know
So
what the
Mary
4 a.m. club is.
yeah.
1432.
So the 4 a.m. club is basically the night after the election. Every now and then I just like saying the actual word because I get so sick of these code words. I'm like,
I
you
don't
know,
blame you.
I can't like I can't wait to get in the car with my mom because I'm like the blueberry, the Democrats. The Democrats said, I'm like, I will not say blueberry. I'm like losing
That's
my
why it
mind. But
was fun to get on Discord because everybody dropped the code.
yeah. So the night or the day of the election, when we found out the horrible results, everybody felt awful and like awful, like the one of the worst ever, shaking, upset, you know, self unaliving vibes, like very very dark. But everyone, and so not everybody felt that actually. I should say a lot of people went to sleep and didn't even know what the results were, but they just woke up at 4 a.m., around 4 a.m. We're all in different time zones, but they woke up at a weird time and they just had this calm knowing that everything was going to be okay. That didn't make sense to what was going on. It just had this calmness that has lasted to today. And I have that. And James, do you want to describe 4 a.m. Club?
Yeah, the one where it matched up perfectly, which is why it gave me chills and made me come out of the closet because I was psychic, but not no one knew about it. I just kept it to myself. But the 4 a.m. club was a deal that on that was this what I'm going to tell you was repeated over and over and over and over and over again across the United States in multiple TikToks that I watched, and I said, and I just ran around going, me too, yeah, me too, me too, and it just went on and on and on and on until finally someone just said, okay, someone coined it called the 4 a.m. club, which was the fact that I went to sleep during the election. So a whole bunch of us that couldn't stay awake when the things were being tallied. We all go to sleep, and then all of us wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning in a quiet house with the TV off, knowing in our sleep from waking that he won, she lost, and we lose our shit and we cry like a stuck animal and completely lose our crap and shake and convulse and go into an exorcism like thing and then collapse as a heap into our bed and then sleep for like 9, 10, 5, 15 hours. And then we wake up as if everything in the world. The joke was you wake up as if I had a Fresca enema. I woke up, I was completely rainbows and Skittles all over the fucking place. And it was insane. I was like, how possibly could I have gone through that? It was so much so for me, I called the clinical psychiatrist to check in and make sure I'd not snapped. So then it wouldn't leave me. It was haunting. What is this series of event? So because of the fact that I was like, I'm on TikTok, not for this reason, I decided to just go, well, maybe someone has a, like, because I was doing a video, like, does it seem quiet to you? Isn't it really weird after the election? I was being all cheeky and fake, and I wasn't telling anybody anything. And I type in hashtag 4 a.m., and it was and literally what I keep talking to you, there's a 19-year-old girl in North Carolina who literally tells the exact same story that I say, that like she goes, I went to sleep and then I woke up and I knew he had won, and I was like crying like my mom had died. And I mean, literally, every word that came out of this girl's mouth. She's all the way across the continent of the United States. She's 1,000 years younger than me. I'm over here. Why were we both having these same stories? So what happened was there was a whole bunch of us that got together, and then we had more people that were a little more psychic on the ground, like Geo and a lot of other people who were already in the game, and then we kind of grouped together, and finally someone finally said, how many of you how many of you woke up? So finally it was one of like a big ad, like an 800, how many of you woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with total dread, then went to sleep, woke up like everything's okay? Well, if you have that, then make
Yeah.
sure you tune into the 400 Club. So it became this thing overnight because we were all sharing the same experience, and that's what was the birth of the 4 a.m. Club, and that was what it. And again, it's not exactly that, but what the thing was is a whole lot of us looked up at the clock, and it was actually that exact time. So that's why we're here. And a lot of us were not tarot card, nothing, in the closet, like had really good intuition, used it corporately, used it
Yeah, right.
personally, did not tell anybody about it.
Right.
And now I'm running around like I have tie-dye on and I can see auras at parties. So I'm way off the deep end now,
Oh, I
So
busted out of the spiritual closet with my rainbow shorts. I was like, ba bum bum, here I am, you guys. And
I,
not only am I spiritual, I'm political. What's up with that? Like,
right,
people are like,
right,
what?
right,
I was
right,
like,
right. Oh my God, yes, yes. It's politically savvy and psychic at the same time. What is that subgroup? You know what I mean? The political psychic group, like that
yeah,
isn't even a thing that existed before.
yeah.
So
It's a whole
no,
genre of like,
it is, it
yeah, I
is.
know I voted for this person, but I can see her aura. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't win, but like
I can
and I woke
see
up
your
at 4
aura.
a.m. and I saw her aura. That's gonna be my thing now for you.
No, no. So I don't know what the deal is. I know the deal is, but again, just because of I don't know the jobs I've had in the past. I was an executive producer of a major not-for-profit cultural arts institution in Los Angeles. I managed thousands of people and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars of putting on live productions and stuff. I have to say that this connection across the United States is should be like at least looked into by the people that used to run that big psychic thing up at Stanford University. Like why I'm still going to hold my hand up, and I'm still going to be going, does anybody understand what that may be about? Like, why was that happening? Why was there that the universe, conspiring to have this coincidence? What quantum physics, multiverse thing was that about? That's still keeping me in the boonies emotionally about all of this. Is just like going, yeah, I see what's going on, but this is what the hell? How did we coalesce? How? You know, and so like-minded. You know,
I felt like it was like honestly, when I thought about it when it happened, I was thinking it felt like almost like a jolt from God and from the universe to like an infusion of spiritual knowing, and like we may have had no spiritual vibes, like connections consciously before then, or we had some, or we had a lot, but we all got this boost, like a booster shot, on that day, and it made us calm. It was almost like they knew they needed to do that so that we would stay calm and we would get through this time where all
it
the
did feel
under.
biblical. It did feel biblical. It does.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
I,
freaky. It just feels biblical. It's like it felt biblical. That's the
I
only.
I remembered the reference I was trying to make around this before from Lord of the Rings, which is that Boromir carries the horn of Gondor, and whenever there's someone that needs help, when they need help, they blow the horn, and it calls from all the lands. It calls up all these people. That's what I feel like happened. Is like they blew the energetic horn to wake
Yeah.
up all the light workers, to wake up all these, people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I think, okay, again, in spite of the torches and the pitchforks, get the monsters. Anyway, it's the Salem witch trials. We haven't even started here yet. But I I think that maybe this ball of energy that all came together as us is the reason that maybe what we feel is the result of what's going to happen. The reason that we keep feeling calm about him is because this has something to do with it not getting out of its box or proliferating or expanding or getting its usual route into society. Maybe there's some, manifestation of being able to, all of us, not one, but what if everybody is thinking and feeling the exact same thing? How does that change the reality? How does that change what's going on in the world? Maybe it's all of us going, no, not individually, but knowing that the power that we're all connected going, no, you're not going to do that. No, this isn't going to work. We're not going to allow that to happen. And for some reason, we're able to kind of guide this because we're all like-minded, like an organism, like a one thinking thing, there's a
Yeah.
lot of power in that. And
And
we're
also,
everywhere.
yeah, and I love everything you just described because it feels like we're almost having to like also almost kind of wait for some people to catch up too. Like we're all going to get on this ship and it's almost like they had spiritual blow darts and they're like and it was like and it went into our neck and we were all like kind of
Yeah.
sedated. So we're
Yeah.
not getting on the ship yet and we're wondering why and we're like, I don't know, I just feel good. I feel okay.
Yeah.
And it's like this crazy time. It's like, what the hell? Get on the ship. But it's like we're meant to wait for the others and the others have to go through this thing. They have to go through where they believe something and then they have it crash down and then they rebuild and I don't know what, but I feel like we're waiting for the other ones and the ones that are kind of like us, we're kind of needing to be a little bit more on the same page so that we're not so, whatever. I don't, that's how it feels. It feels like I
Well,
feel like I'm waiting.
to really, and I'm sure it's not going to be a stretch for anybody to believe this. I absolutely have no problem being absolutely fucking terrified and being completely paranoid and crawling up into a small ball and asking people to hold me. It's with all the stress that I've been on with corporately and whatever I've done in my entire life. I can't tell you how many times I've completely lost my shit and fallen apart. Like I'm not gonna make it. So the point is, there's nothing steely about me. I'm a full emotional running person. And this particular situation, for some, as monstrous and as big as it is, I don't, I'm like going, why is the sound turned down on this thing? I'm not getting, like, if you and I were watching a movie, like we were like a test print for something, like what is making this scary or not scary? Not making it less scary. It's like the volume is turned down.
Yeah, that's
This existence is like, I get what's going on, but it's like the narrative is tamped down and the rhetoric seems to be low and the energy is medium. I keep waiting for it to like overwhelm me and I keep going, why am I not, so I have to think this is a part of it. Our connection is a reason why this is not, that this isn't getting in, that we connected at that moment without knowing that we connected. And that was the calm that we felt. The calm what we felt was the destiny of us going to all meet each other and say hi, across the United States every single night, the hundreds of thousands of us that got on here and said, I had the same experience too. And that's a lot of people, in a covenant or some kind of, thought ball that's going to be like a, kind of like some big psychic nuke or something like that. I think it could really push the needle around a little bit, especially the fact that it's not some festival, or it wasn't something that someone put some poster up, come to the crystal, like freak show in the park on Thursday. This was something where everybody got a message on their own in their head and finally came through by either tripping over it online or typing in 4 a.m. or now starting to compare notes, and we all coalesce together in a very, very, very short period of time. And I think that may be the reason why some of us are not feeling the full effect that, like, I just don't think it's going to be, I don't want to take anybody's pain away, but I'm not getting the panic vibe. And that's chicken or the egg. Is that us affecting that, or is it the fact that we're reading that that's what's going to happen? Is it a combination of both? I don't know, because this is all new to, I think, all of us. We've never had a cooperative, Dune group of people that that walk around and go, I don't know, we're like, it's like a new order of people across America. I think it's trippy. We should have a convention.
And all these different levels too, because you're talking about the people who are blaming all the, you lied to us, all that kind of stuff. That's like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what that is, because I would never do that. I always try to put myself in the place, like, what would make me do that? I can't even fathom. I'd be embarrassed to do something like that, to be honest, because I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to put myself out there like that I gave my power away to any person like that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the point is that instead of looking at it like, well, there's us and then there's them, there's like the people that got the 4 a.m. thing, and then there's all these other people who are like supporters of the tangerine and blah, blah. There's so many shades of gray all along here that are all kind of, and I think what's happening is people are needing to figure out who they are and what they believe right now. And some people that are sort of spiritual need to figure it out. You either believe in something or you don't. You either believe that there's something coming or there's not coming. There's something you're connected to. There's a reason why we're here. You guys, we don't know why we're here. I want you to think about that for a second. Nobody here knows why we're here. We're all okay with this community amnesia. Why? I don't know. No one knows why we're here. We're always trying to guess. Everyone's trying to figure things out. Most people just say, I don't care. I don't want to guess. I'm just going to go to work and pay the bills. And I've always been, since the time I was a kid, I'm like, wait, what? So I go to school every day. I was in grade school. And I was like, I go to grade school every day. Then I go to high school. Then I go to college. Then I go to a job. And then I get old and I die. And my dad was like, yep. And he just like walked away. And I was like, I cannot do this. I can't. I need to know more about what's going on. This is crazy. So none of us know why we're here, but it's like you almost have to think when stuff like this happens on a global scale and it's a big thing, like what's happened with 2020. And then now, you have to really think about what are your beliefs about why we're here. I mean, we say it sometimes flippantly, like, oh yeah, we're all getting our vibration up. And we're saying a lot of people don't talk like this. They don't even know what this is. We sound crazy to them. They don't think like the way, if they're alone though, they'll go, yeah, sometimes I'm outside and I look at the stars and I wonder what's out there, Okay, let's start with that, because that is the tiny crack in the, it's a crack in the, what is it called? Amnesia, all blanket statements. What do you mean by that, Ignite? Which I'm probably am saying that because I'm making a point. Anyways, so I'm just saying a lot of people don't have any connection to any reason why we're here. They don't think about it. They don't want to think about it. They're afraid to think about it unless someone they love has died or they're on their deathbed. And then they start to think about it. But I believe we're meant to think about it earlier than that. Maybe not all of us, but obviously with something like this, it's forcing a lot of us to wake up earlier. Some people want the it's like a package, a vacation package. Yeah, I'd like to buy the Amnesia 200 for Earth, please, in the year 2025. Thank you. That's part of what the package is to be here, is to not know. And I understand that because that's what we're learning. But what if we can have both? What if we can have the duality of knowing that we don't know and then not knowing? We can hold both realities. I don't know. Maybe that's where we're moving to. People say it's to raise our vibration without understanding or actually doing that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think people understand. We're all projecting. It goes back to what we were saying before. We're all projecting our journey onto others. We're all like, I remember this guy was a total asshole and he was mean to everybody. He was a good looking guy. He was in sports. He was mean to everybody in grade school. He was mean to everybody in college or high school. And when he was like in his mid-20s, he had this huge like spiritual awakening. huge. And he came up to me and he was like, we need to be kind to people. We need to realize, and I just wanted to like punch him in the face. I was like, do you not understand there was a world around you while you were going through that? You know, that's how we all are, though. We all like project what we're experiencing. Like, everybody, wake up, everyone. This is what you should experience. When it's really like we're the ones that are waking up, we're the ones having that experience. Okay. Dead silent crickets. That's not a popular topic. I still stand behind it. It's my thing. I don't know. A lip reader said Obama asked Bush, yeah, how can we stop what's happening? I thought that was so funny. And Bush's face looked so cute. He was like, I don't know. He had such a cute look in his face, even though we used to hate him. But now it's like, he's cute and like a little old man.
Did you see that tape when he went to, they asked him, the stadium of the Astros said, the Astros was a very, very liberal area of Texas. He said, do you want to come throw out the baseball? And he said, oh, you know, nobody likes it. And they said, I think this is when Trump was in office the first time. And so what happened was he said, no, he said, George, I think you'd probably have a good time. And so what happened was he said, oh, all right, I'll come. And he got on because he was a baseball player and he could really throw it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he really knew how to throw, and he really did. So he went on to throw the thing across the field, and when he walked out, he got a standing ovation in the stands, and tearfully he looked around and looked at the baseball manager, the commissioner. He said, he was like, you set me up to this. And everybody gave him a standing ovation. And so he knew exactly what to say. He got the microphone and he said, not so bad after all.
Ah, that's right. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, in comparison, he looks like a
Right.
big teddy
He
bear.
said, not so bad after all, is it? You know, and I ended up, you know, meeting all those people I sent to war and painting pictures and his, you know, his after presidency was almost as powerful as his presidency. Yeah. He ends up, the guy who I couldn't stand ended up being one of the most likable presidents, after all that was over with. You talk about, you know, redemption, dear God. I crave the days when we just had policy differences.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that our experience in being older is too, is that I remember when he was our tangerine. I
Yeah.
mean, we hated him. We were like,
Oh,
it's the end of the
God.
world. He's the absolute worst.
Oh, yeah.
Devil incarnate. And a lot of what his policies were really scary at that time. And we're like very war,
Who
you
thought
know.
thought Liz Cheney was going to be on our side?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's
Yeah.
a very, very, very strange time for politics, and
Mhm.
so
We're talking about George Bush Jr. I want to say a quick story. You know, I grew up in Arizona, and a friend of mine had a bridal shower lunch at the Biltmore, which is a really nice resort in Phoenix. All the presidents have gone there. It was decorated or designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, so there's statues, and it's really pretty. So we were in there having lunch, and John McCain um, walked across the room. And it was a huge table of like 10 or 12 of us. He walked across the room staring at me. Everybody's looking at me, and I was like, what the hell? He walked up to me and he goes, how are you? And I go, and I stood up and I was like, hi. And he took my hand in his hands, like, you know, where you put one on top and one on the bottom. And he goes, how are you doing? It's so good seeing you here. I have no idea who he, you know, I knew he was John McCain, but I didn't know him at all. And I just went, oh, thank you. And I go, I'm here with my friends. And I introduced everybody, and everybody in the whole place is looking like, who is that girl? I'm like, I have no idea who he thinks I am. But when he took my hand and I felt his hand, I felt his energy. He is a genuinely kind man. And no matter what, you know, I disagreed with him on policy, I never forgot the way his hand, the energy I got from his body, like I felt it. And I should just say his hand, not his body. Like when his body was on mine, no, I'm just kidding. I'm losing it. I'm getting tired. No, but his hand, I felt it, you guys. You can tell when someone, you know, touches you and takes your hand. So remember when that woman was saying about Obama that he was a Muslim and like, you know, not that that's bad,
right.
but like at that time. And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. I was like, thank you. Like just decency. Can we get back to decency?
Yeah,
Ah,
he's awesome. He held the record for being the politician on Saturday Night Live the most of all of them.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he's absolutely rational. He's the what they for history's purposes, he's called a martini Republican. They came out of the very Goldwater era in Arizona, and these are pro-choice,
Very different.
pro-business. Reagan's out of that camp. There were lots of Republicans that were basically what they would look on today would pass for a conservative Democrat, and because they were into social services. Reagan's speech on immigrants is what makes America strong. Social Security is of course in a lockbox and belong to the American people. Don't say you can take it away. There's a lot of stuff that's on that side. A lot of people don't know that Ronald Reagan eliminated the tax breaks for oil companies for the 8 years he was in office. And created Martin Luther King's birthday. It's not saying, oh, they're okay people. I'm just saying Republicans were not that far down the
No,
field. Yeah.
no.
It was policy differences and budgeting differences.
Oh my
They,
God. I mean, the Republicans from when I was younger, my grandparents were Republican. A lot of people I knew were Republican. It was so different. It wasn't
yeah.
like this. So if you're young and this is like your first or second election series, or third or fourth or whatever, and this is all kind of new, I'm telling you, he is not like the others, unlike anybody else in a horrible way.
I
Like,
remember when the Speaker of the House got drunk with Ronald Reagan over a cafe thing. What happened was is this Tip O'Neill went to go have an all nighter with Ronald Reagan. They were talking about cafe standards, which was for gas and emissions, and they were having this argument back and forth and so forth. And so apparently Tip O'Neill went there. It was the first time him getting to hang out with him, and they started drinking about 8 o'clock, and they forgot why they had gotten together. Two Irish Catholics in the White House. So apparently Ronald Reagan and him just get drunk, snockered, knocked down crazy, talk all night long, have dinner, play cards. This is a Republican and a Democrat. Speaker of the House is the Democrat speaker, Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. And what happens is the staff comes in at about 5 o'clock in the morning and said the entire White House is surrounded by press right now, wondering why you have been in here for 13 hours arguing. They said they were like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh
ah,
shit." They
that's so
completely
funny.
forgot. They completely forgot. So if you ever see the videotape of the morning that they interview them, you see Tip O'Neill standing behind Ronald Reagan. They both look blotto. And he said, and so Ronald Reagan said, I'll handle it. He goes, and Tip O'Neill's like going, yeah, you're the good communicator. You tell him something. Just tell him something. And he goes, well, we argued all night. And he goes, and Tip O'Neill put a good fight. And I think we've come to a good conclusion for his people and ours. And you see Tip in the background just snickering through the entire speech as Reagan's pulling this out of his fanny. And so they shook hands and laughed, and he had to go back to the house and stuff. And the truth was, nothing happened at all. They literally cut the deal later on over the phone, which was, of course, they leaned into that. But it was cross pollination between Republicans and Democrats was rampant in those days.
Yeah.
This wall thing down the middle is something that's very, very new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were all Americans in those
Yeah.
days.
I worked in Hollywood, and I've done a lot of premieres in Hollywood, Chinese Man's Theater, all that. I've been around all the stars and all that. But I have someone who's worked with like the Clinton Gore campaign and all that. She's a friend of a family, a neighbor. And she called me one day and she goes, would you ever want to drive in the presidential motorcade for the debate that was happening in Tempe, Arizona? And I was like, okay, like, I don't know. Next thing I know, they're like doing background checks and checking all my stuff. And when, oh God, what's his name? The tall guy, the tall Democrat who debated Bush in the last debate in Tempe, Arizona, when Bush won. I think it was the second term. His wife was the Hines.
Yeah.
What's his
I'm sorry.
name? John? No,
Yeah,
I can't get his name. What is
What?
happening to me?
John Kerry?
thank
Yes,
you.
Carrie. So I drove his wife and her friends from the tarmac. They gave me the car that I drove, and there was like a security guy next to me when they checked underneath for bombs. I shouldn't say that on here. I was like, oh, whatever. And I just was waiting in the car, and her plane landed. It was in Scottsdale Air Park. And then they all got in, and they were telling the most hilarious stories. Like I don't know if they had drinks on that flight, but they were like they were spilling beans. But anyways, we're driving all the way from Scottsdale Air Park to Tempe, Arizona, where ASU is, for the last debate. And the people lining the streets, waving their flags and smiling at us. And it was the whole motorcade it was John Kerry, it was everybody. I was weeping. And I'm not even big into politics, okay? except for now. And now I'm like an intern at the White House. But I was weeping like as I was driving, and I was hoping they wouldn't see me because it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The energy surrounding a United States politician situation is unlike anything I've ever felt because it's so powerful. And I don't know what it is now, obviously, with the Cheeto dust all over the place, but it was a beautiful, it's a beautiful energy. And then I even went into the debate. My friend goes, "Do you want to come back behind?" So I was behind them when they were debating on stage, and I was like looking at them and how tall they were and stuff. And then I went away. But the energy surrounding it is a very different than, I can see why Tangerine was drawn to it because it's way, way different, much more potent than any Hollywood vibe. You worked on some campaigns, didn't you, James?
I ended up going to work for the Reagan administration to restore the USS Sequoia presidential yacht and bring it back to service before he was out of office. And because I was really good, if you don't ask questions like, are there aliens? If you don't, when
Yeah.
you get with there's like five questions, they're like going, just don't ask the five questions. Is wrestling real? Are there aliens or whatever? And is there a what on the front lawn of the White House? And so I was real good. And it was like a lunch, and they said, "You've been real good. You haven't asked any of the questions." They said, "You have a surprise. Which one do you want to do?" And one was to go in the motorcade because they were moving the president from the White House to Andrews Air Force Base. And
Wow.
what happened that was when I found out that all of those Suburbans were all hollowed out, and they're like guys sitting like this in troop carriers, like all of those Suburbans. It's a
Oh.
battalion of people, and the back windows got like a bazooka out of it, and it's just fully armed. The thing is just fully armed. You don't know which one the president's going to get in. There's a fake limousine. There's a bunch of fake limousines and stuff like that. And we sat up towards the front to run it and stuff like that. And they coordinated it's 100. We're 131, 128, 131 cleared through is how fast you can move, because it's real hard to aim at something like that at any deal with a helicopter flying over the back of you.
Mm.
They coordinated it to ZZ Top's "She's Got Legs," and they play it in all of the vehicles. You hear this, and everybody's moving at that speed. They
Wow.
picked that song, yeah. And I was like going, and they play it like full blast, and you're just hauling through Washington D.C., which is very, very, very narrow. But yeah, it was fun to see all the.
Cool.
It's for somebody from Los Angeles, you really do feel that you're at the top. Whatever this big, huge American, beast is, you really can feel yourself at the top of that head of that, the Oval Office and the White House. You can really, there's a palpable feeling at being at the most important place on earth.
Yeah.
That's unlike any movie opening or any Academy Award thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that feeling. It stuck with me. I think about that every time I see all those people around there. I think they're in that. Although I think it's changed a little bit. And I wanted to say, someone said that the Republicans in Arizona are all cray cray now. That's what they show on the news. I promise you, there's so many normal Republicans still here. I saw so many Republicans for Harris signs all over the place, but you won't hear that. And that's another thing. They probably stole the fact that Arizona turned blue this year because it was pretty close. So even, anyways, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but like,
I think a lot of places were blue.
yeah, don't be fooled by the news. Even I'll be here and I'll be like, look at that idiot with that bumper sticker. Like, it's rare. Like, you don't see it all the time. But I know there's a lot here because he comes here all the time, and there's all those, rallies or whatever, but it's on the west side, so we don't pay attention to it.
Between San Jose and Scottsdale, Arizona,
But
San Diego and Los Angeles, which is kind of this triangle thing. I have been, even during the Trump years, the first time, I was always hard to find what was being amplified in media. That I just think that they seem bigger in media than they are in real life, which is why I kind of don't buy what's going on. So yeah, they don't seem to be as much as they claim to be.
Grandma's crystal dream, what do you mean? You're in Arizona, and what's not true? What I said or what they say? Because I'm getting ready to fight you. So you better get right in line with agreeing with me, because whose name is on the door? No, I'm just kidding. What did you mean? I'm getting all loose and crazy now.
I like it. I like it.
They call it, my regulars call it SkyGirl after dark or something like that. When I start getting like, now I'm just waiting. I'm like, come on, grandma. Come on, grandma. Okay. Republicans in Arizona support Harris. That's true or
Okay.
false? We still haven't gotten there yet, grandma. We haven't gotten. Because I have the kick button ready to go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I would love to get on my soapbox at some point, maybe not tonight, but about what has happened to the press over the past 20 years,
It's
because
sad.
it is just crazy to me, having been trained as a journalist in one of the best schools in the country where they have the First Amendment printed on the outside of the building. It's like, it's crazy to me. I don't know.
And that's another thing that we were here before Fox News. Before that type of news, I
Before
remember,
bias, it was so biased,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
But it was like they told the news, like it was different.
Hmm.
There wasn't always opinions. And then with cable, see, each one of these technological advances changes the landscape of everything. So you have cable news, which is 24 hours. So they have to fill the hours. So then they're going to just talk shit about everything. Whereas back in the day, news shut off, all the TV shut off. So they had to find the best possible news that was most important and make sure that came out during the news show. That was it. Now they're like just filling space. Like, come on, drag it out. Talk more about this. You know.
Unfortunately, I think the magazines and newspapers were so resistant to the internet, and they didn't go to a subscription model like that. That is something that they could have seen coming, and they resisted it. And then they had to switch to all these digital advertisers, and then they were beholden to their advertisers, and then the corporate companies bought out all these smaller organizations. It was all consolidated. There's just so many things that have happened to get us to where we are now.
Yeah, the Sinclair purchases through the red states was huge.
Yeah, and all consolidated. And I've been in newsrooms where they were telling us, "Oh, well, that's not interesting enough," or you need to change the headline. Like, I hated changing headlines to stuff that didn't match what was in the written story. It's like, well, we need more clicks, we need more views, we need more this, that, and the other thing. And you're not being true to what you want to write or what you want to say. Because I don't think individual journalists are corrupt. I think that they're stuck in a system, and the system has the keys to their livelihood. And so they're having to comply with that, whether or not they ethically agree.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So we need to just check in with ourselves and what we need. Check in with yourself. Check in often. What do you need? What do you need? Also, keep things in balance. Like, don't just consume until you get so frazzled out. Turn that shit off. There was a time when people didn't know anything about anything coming or going. They lived in their cabin, and next thing you know, a herd of elephants came and smashed them. You don't always have to know everything that's going on. That's my point. And this whole idea of being addicted to the news and, thinking like, well, I need to know. You don't need to know. You could actually live without knowing.
A lot of people that still do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends haven't been following every little detail with this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's like, you don't, what we do get is our intuition though. And I believe that my higher self, my spirit guides, they let me know things. I get messages in my dreams and in synchronicities that happen in my life and in feelings and even in my body. Like if I get a certain ailment, I always look that up. The elephant smashed the people.
Louise
Everyone's
Hay,
still stuck on that.
you have your copy of You Can Heal Your Life at your bedside
Yes, you
table.
can heal your
Yeah,
life. That's my Bible. I even have an app that they discontinued, but it's still on there. So if someone
nice.
goes, "Oh my God, I have the worst neck pain," I go, "Really?" And I'm like on my phone looking it up. I'm like, "You're being kind of rigid right now, wouldn't you say, about looking at other viewpoints?" No, but there's psychosomatic stuff. So there's so many. God and the universe gave us all the answers we need to life in life. It's in nature. It's in flowers. It's in the way the birds are, the migration. It's in everything. So look at everything, learn from everything, and our ancestors did. And we don't need to be addicted on these things that other people created, and then they're funneling to us what they think we need to know. What we need to know is going to come to us in our dreams, in our experiences, in our body, in our life. And so just know that you don't need to know anything other than what you know. I promise
And
you.
as a news junkie, what happened was because of this experience and talking with you guys, I went back to Morning Joe and found out that they not only had they gone to Mar-a-Lago, still don't know what that was about. Anyways, but the deal was is I went there and realized what I was feeling, I did not see anywhere that it was in the media. So I just completely clicked out of all of it. So I have not been kept up on the day-to-day chatter, had been completely out of my cycle for the last 76 days.
Yeah.
And I didn't miss anything, including a fire. So I think the lack of dosing may also contributing to the fact why I'm not as wound up. I didn't watch the inauguration. I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
So I know those things stay constant, but I'm not beat up by offensive information that does nothing but just injure me, and I have no point in any of it. It's like you feel bad. Do you get in a bonus point for it? No. Is it going to change anything? No. Then why do I need to know this to feel bad if nothing is directly coming towards me? You know,
It's
or
like
being
when the
burned
guy
out.
goes to the doctor and goes, "It hurts when I go like this with my arm." And the doctor goes, "Don't do this with your arm."
Right.
It's like
My
common
arm.
sense sometimes. Just avoid those things. And there's so many people on social media that are distilling the news. Find the people you trust that you resonate with. Have a couple different sources. I would say don't just listen to one person. Um, Listen to a couple different so you get a little different viewpoints. But that's it. That's what I'm doing right now. I stopped watching the news before the election because the way they were talking about him like he was a legitimate candidate. And they're like,
That's where we
in
got
the
sane
southern
washing.
states, yeah, they're like, in the southern states, his numbers are up, da da da. And I'd walk, in my mom's place, she always has CNN on. And I'm like, I can't listen to this. So she knows as soon as she sees me coming, she's like nervously looking for the remote control because I'm like, turn it off. I can't deal with it. It was too awful.
Yeah.
Are you going to say something, Jenna?
Well, I was going to say that's how I felt election night. We could call it the election.
The election.
Um, I can't remember if it was NBC or CBS, but basically I had been phone banking, so I went to the campaign office party, and I was
Oh,
really nervous about going because I was like, I don't really know these people very well. I don't know what this night is going to be like. And as they were calling things, there was this one commentator who seemed to get more and more gleeful as the night went on, like as he started calling things. And I always thought that he was kind of a left-leaning commentator. So I don't really know, but I was like, God, why is he so excited about this? Like, I need to go home. Like, this is weird. And it felt surreal then, just like something felt so off to me. I could feel it. Every part of me was like, this is off. This is wrong.
yeah. Yeah, it just feels like we're outside of our body, like looking at this thing going, what? Wait, are you guys, what? No. Really? This? No. It's so weird, it's so bizarre. Yeah, so someone asked, I believe something is going to happen, and if it doesn't, we're going to do stuff to change shit because we can't, this isn't acceptable. This is not good, and we're not going to just sit by and go, well, the blueberries didn't do anything. So I guess this is the way life is now. No, I'm not doing that. We're giving them a minute to sort of show themselves like, okay, it's after the thing, and after the thing. We waited
Right.
for the thing, and then they waited for
Right.
the other thing. And then Bubble Butt 24 said to wait for the third thing. And so we did that. But now we're gonna take action. So we're going to wait a little bit longer, but that's it. And in the meantime, we should all just try to figure out how to get more involved too, though. There's so many people who are so good at that, who are good at being organized and good at being like getting people together and figuring out like I said, I'm going to say this every day. All action is not progress. So make sure if you're doing something, it's something that actually has some potency to it and some thought behind it and somebody smart doing something. Don't waste your energy just going out there being like, hey, This is wrong. I mean, although that's good too. There's something to be said about just raw, like something's wrong, like period. Hi, Janine. Oh my God, it's like in the middle of the night. She's like, hey, what's going on? I'm kind of winding down because I'm getting all loopy. So
I
before
think
I can
Janine was
really,
on another live. She's like finally hopped over from the other
okay,
live.
good. Before I get canceled by saying something, I like take my shirt off and it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. You never know.
Girls gone
Ah,
wild.
I am a. We're all blueberries here. We're all
Right.
blueberries.
Psychic political's gone wild. Yeah. The
Exactly.
whole niche.
Oh,
Oh,
it feels good. Laughter is so good.
I went to a comedy show Friday night and it was so
Good.
helpful, like really laughing hard. But Zach Galifianakis came on to stage and he just in a very deadpan tone, goes, I'm part of a January 6th reenactment group. And the whole just auditorium just bursts out laughing, and he just keeps rolling, and he goes, "Yeah, there was more to that, but I think I'm just gonna leave it at that."
Oh my God, to think of that. Yeah, like the Civil War reenactors. There's going to be like a J6 reenactor. Like,
It was clearly like probably just a random thought that came to him as such a good joke.
that's
It's a
hilarious.
good line.
oh,
Well, thank you guys for joining me up here. I really enjoyed it. And we're going to
oh,
need to.
thank you so much. I appreciate the fact of you. This is, I for some reason, I'm just like it's that you're the only live I do. I don't, I, I feel it fits over here, and I like how you run things, and I like the liveliness of it. So I really appreciate you coming up here and allowing me to just. I thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
thank you. You have helped my mental stability. I feel way better tonight. I certainly hope we tried to help some other people that maybe need. But that was real profound. I think I'm not your dad, and it's not for me to tell you I'm proud of you. But I was really moved by the listening to the different babies in the wood crying. We have like we're some special thing like you hear this, you hear this, you hear this. I think that that's really valid to the question of were we too early or too late. That really resonated with me. That we're all here to help someone. We're all here to help somebody. And
Yeah.
in our different ways and stuff. So I loved that. I loved how that
Thank
came
you.
out. That was the best. That was the best.
Thanks for saying that. I absolutely believe that we all have a special, the stuff that we've gone through and just our natural abilities that we were born with that we don't understand why we have it or whatever. That's what we hear. That's what we see. That's our calling, the baby crying in the woods. That's what we're called to do, called to help, called to do whatever. And everybody's right because it's what they're meant to do. Everybody's right. So we don't even need to be like, you should be more like this. I mean, yes, what Namaste was saying was helpful because it does help
Yeah.
me drop down a little bit because I get a little heady. I get a little in my head like, what we need to do is, and I
Well,
need
I
to
think because we're
remember.
both project managers, and that's going to show. When you're producing something or making something go forward, we're like, okay, 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 don't get scared. We're going to get this done.
Yeah.
So that's good that yeah, what she said basically made them re-understand that we were not that chilly about what we were saying.
Yeah.
I think it was occupational hazard more
Yeah.
than it was being checked out. It's
Right.
like we're gonna be okay. We're gonna get there. Don't
We're
worry. Don't worry.
fine. Oh my God. We're fine.
Right, right, exactly. The way to calm down a group of people who you've lost is by acting irritated. The fastest way to eliminate fear in a boardroom is to go, God, would you stop it already? People go, oh, okay. I mean, and it's tactical. It's completely tactical. I may be as afraid as they are, but you've got to roll your eyes and sell it like going, God, would you knock it off already? What is it? So, and that's a leadership tactic. So I think that we have some occupational hazard
Yeah.
problems there, and I think it was responsible for her to call us out to make sure that we were communicating correctly and being understood correctly. I
Yeah.
appreciated Namaste's input on the fact that we were sounding like military drill sergeants or someone going, "We have two more scenes to shoot, and I don't need to hear this. Get out of your trailer now." It's
Yeah.
like, it's like, no, don't do that.
Time is money. Chop, chop.
Right,
Get out of your
exactly.
depression. Let's
We're
go. Yeah.
burning sun, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. No,
Anyway, so
exactly.
so I'm glad I appreciated the input and the guidance. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have any final words before I pull the plug on this puppy?
Final words. No, I just also wanted to thank you and for giving us this space to express ourselves. And, you know, times when I get heated, we all get kind of, I can be very passionate at times. Like I feel a lot, and I can also be, um, that person that wants to give somebody a kick in the pants a little bit. And it's only because I'm like, I love you and I want you to succeed so badly. Right? Like
Yeah,
I'm like, I am really in your corner if I am like trying to convince you. I'm giving you a speech. I'm trying to give a
yeah,
rousing
yeah,
speech because I care about you. Because if I were like, whatever, I
yeah.
wouldn't at all.
Well, it's like
So
that Tyra Banks clip where she's like, "We were rooting for you." It's like you're just fighting for the person. You're like, "Come on!" And I know it can come across. Anyways, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just love that clip.
yeah, no, I mean, exactly, right. I really try to be in people's corners, and I want to help and I want to make a difference in the world. So that's just how it comes through sometimes. But yeah, one final thought is that remember that when you have heavy emotions, laughter, we mentioned laughter as being a way to release, but something else that I find helpful is movement, dancing. Even if it's just moving intuitively or shaking the body, just instead of intellectualizing the emotions, feel them in your body, let them flow through you. That's along the lines with like, don't get stuck in despair, don't get stuck there, move it around, and we're gonna be here to help each other as best as we can, whether we're on this platform or another. So that's my final
Absolutely.
thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
movement's great for grief because we get stuck and we get frozen and it starts to make us smaller and smaller and smaller. So just moving around weirdly. I love that you said that because that's so important is that just move. Even if you're just alone, just do something weird, like just lift your shoulder up and be like, this is weird. But in 5 minutes, you're going to feel better. I guarantee. Oh, you can't see my shoulder. See? Um,
Shaking is a trauma response. Like animals will do it. Like if an animal gets chased by a lion and they get away, they reflexively shake. And I do this to help myself sleep at night when I'm amped up. So
yeah.
just flail, just kind of get it out,
Yeah. Next time you're going to need your camera on to do that demonstration. Thank you very much.
I still need more followers. No one can see my face. I feel
Everybody
like it's
follow
harder to
Jana.
Everybody
connect.
follow Jenna. Everybody
Thank
follow
you.
Jenna.
Follow Jana right now.
I'm still figuring out how to be a content creator, but I'm working on it.
It's easy. No, I'm just kidding. Back in the vein of like being empathetic, it's not easy. It's so hard. And like even when I first went live, there'd be like two people in there and they didn't talk. So I'd go, so
Oh no,
anyways, when I
that's
was
hard.
born, and then I go and I'd look down, they're gone. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, someone would come in, I go, hi, and they'd leave. And I was like, oh. And so it's awkward. But now look at we're here and we're talking. It's great. So
What a
my,
party.
my final word would be the worst thing to me is apathy. That's the worst thing. So if someone's passionate or they're trying or they're talking or they're doing anything, they're showing up. That's you have it, like in a Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying I have a chance. Like it doesn't matter what people are saying. It doesn't, almost really, as long as they're just showing up and coming to the party or the chat or to the room, it's so much better than how many people right now are just sitting in silence somewhere and they're not going to do shit and they don't want to. They don't, for whatever reason, they might be justified. But that is so much harder to work with that. It's so much harder to do anything with that. And so I'll take someone passionate but maybe misguided over just a completely checked out person any day. So just remember that when you're dealing with people, if they're actually engaging with you, that's a step in some kind of direction. Try to see the best in that and try to find a common ground, try to understand them and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, stand your ground too. Let's not be pushovers for them, okay? I'm not trying to say that. So true. Showing up is valuable. Thank you. Thank you. Very true. And that's not the theme right now. We need community. Yes. Yeah, we're going to get through this together. We really are. So thank you guys for showing up tonight, hanging out before you go to bed. Now you're going to have nightmares about the elephants coming. They're coming to smash down your hut. Someone asked me if I got elephants because of the Republic. I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that. I just like elephants. And I was picturing, Anyways, you guys have a great night. I'll be back on live tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody
Love
who's
you.
here. I'll
Nice
see you
Bye-bye.
guys tomorrow. Bye,
Good night.
Jenna. Bye, James. Bye, everyone.